Falling once again, you're listening to World Combat Sports. What's good? It's the weekend. Salute to anyone and everyone that's out here getting it in, making a living during this pandemic. You know how it is. Salute to all of those individuals that support the channel. You know what it is, man. It's always love. McGregor versus Poirier, man. UFC 257. Man, come on. This shit is huge. This shit is turning into something. It's trending pretty heavy out here. This is a rematch. Gregor versus Poirier is a rematch, man. Conor McGregor's 1-0 up on that. You know what I'm saying? Tom Brown, what's good with you? You know, Conor McGregor's 1 up on Dustin Poirier early in the career in 2014. You know, it's a big deal when the UFC is able to make these fights happen. You know, especially when you have fighters that have a somewhat a semi-rivalry. You know what I'm saying? We've seen, you know, the UFC attempt to create the John Jones and Daniel Cormier type of rivalry. We've seen them keep the Stipe Miocic and Daniel Cormier rivalry pretty damn good. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that. The Ugly Truth. Salute to you. Alexander in the building. What up, WCS? What's up, man? What's going on, brother? They have rivalries that can take place almost like, you know, we look at Demetrius Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Him facing Henry Cejudo twice. We look at the TJ Dillashaw and Cody Garbrandt. You know, Cody Garbrandt was knocked out twice by TJ Dillashaw. They have a smooth system in making and creating these rivalries to work that we want to see. Now, of course, when it goes to the women's side of the house, Amanda Nunes knocking out Ronda Rousey, that was already done, you know, by Holly Holmes. Her fighting Chris Cyborg was on her way out the door. You know what I'm saying? So she was stopped. You know, Amanda Nunes handed her the business. And then she went to Bellator and fought for a title and became champion over Bellator at the featherweight division. So what does that mean with Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor? This is a fight where Dana White has already had Dustin Poirier as the interim champion, right? So he couldn't come back and make this an interim championship again. This is a non-title fight because the true reigning defending champion is indeed Khabib Nurmagomedov, 29-0 undefeated. He cannot sit up here and say, okay, this is going to be for the interim championship. You know why? Because he really, truly don't know when Khabib is coming back, man. He does not know when Khabib Nurmagomedov, whose father just passed last year, he doesn't know when he's returning. So he cannot sit up here and say, okay, one or two things happen. It's a damn dilemma with Dana White, right? It's a dilemma. He cannot make an interim championship when he don't know when Khabib's stepping back in the ring or if he'll step back, in the cage. And then he also have to look at the fact when Conor McGregor was the lightweight champion, how long he had the belt outside the UFC and then defended, didn't do nothing. So, you know, not to sound like a hypocrite, Dana White is really, you know, him and his team is really moving this fight along the way it's supposed to be because Conor McGregor never defended the title once. So you can't go up here and strip Khabib of a title just to appease Conor McGregor. So what is going on right now? Dana White is finessing. He's attempting to finesse Khabib into a rematch with Conor McGregor. He's attempting to finesse this man because it's all about religion. It's all about his parents, his mom. It's all about the respect to the Muslim people in this country. Not to give Conor McGregor a second shot. That's if he's able to defeat Dustin Poirier. Because what was done initially with Conor McGregor, some of that shit is unforgivable. You know what I'm saying? Like the Muslims, him offering him a shot of whiskey against his religion. Conor dogging out Khabib's team, Ali Abdelaziz, saying that he was a terrorist. You know, Conor McGregor was going in deep. Deep. He had sandpaper on the end of his knuckles. He was going in deep. He talked about the man's wife. You know what I'm saying? He talked about anything and everything to piss Khabib off. He was pretty much doing the same thing he did to Jose Aldo before he knocked him out in 13 seconds. But Khabib's whole mainframe, his mental server, is much more thorough and strong, man, than Jose Aldo. Dana White is probably in there pleading with Khabib because it's Conor McGregor's last run, people. It's his last freaking run. And he's trying to get the most out of the run from Khabib Nurmagomedov and Conor McGregor. If he's able to win, that's the fight for potentially Conor McGregor to try and get another title to set up a future boxing match when Conor McGregor decides to like take another hiatus and have a multi-million boxing match. But he has to have some weight to him. You know what I'm saying? Conor McGregor has to have that weight. That weight. He needs a strap for them to sell this. He needs a strap. You know what I'm saying? And this fight right here that Dana White's trying to make with Khabib is that strap. Not only does it place Conor into superstardom as he was the first time he initially stepped over the floor at Mayweather, but it gives him damn near a resurgence to defeat one of the guys that's top pound for pound right now. If he defeats Khabib, who is top pound for pound in the business, it places Conor McGregor at the highest damn tier, the pinnacle you can imagine, people. It places him in a whole nother bracket. For him to go up here and revisit this and become lightweight champion a second time by defeating undefeated 29-0 Khabib, Conor McGregor can do what the fuck he want to do again. He can absolutely do what he wants to do again. Dana White will basically try to set anything and everything if he's able to defeat Khabib to get Conor McGregor what he wants. It would absolutely be nobody in the lightweight division that can fuck with Conor right now. Real talk. Let's check out the rankings right quick, right? The UFC rankings. Let's check out who potentially can give Conor McGregor any type. Just say he wants to win. So let's go through this, how he actually cleans out the division. Conor McGregor cleans out the division, even though Conor McGregor is ranked number 4th, right? And Conor McGregor is number 13th on the pound for pound list of the UFC. If he defeats Khabib, you saying to yourself, who does he fight next? Is it Justin Gaethje? Nope. If he defeats Dustin Poirier, who ranks number 2nd, it won't be him. Charles Oliveira, possibly. Charles Oliveira, possibly. Tony Ferguson, nope. Tony Ferguson took 2 L's. He went in there and lost terribly against Justin Gaethje. And then he's coming off another loss. Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's due to step in there with Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler is on his, this is his debut fight from Bellator. This is a guy who's been at the top over there and been lightweight champion, who's faced Patricky and Patricchio, the Pitbull brothers. You know what I'm saying? He was 1-1 with Patricky and lost to Patricchio, the younger brother, via first round knockout, I believe. Rafael Dos Anjos, man, he's still trying to get back in the picture. So he literally cleans out the top 10. And really, after that, it's only one really fresh face that we can look at. That's Charles Oliveira. His jiu-jitsu game is like motherfucking water. Seriously. It's like a goddamn rogue octopus. Everywhere you go, he's going to damn latch on to you. Oliveira is the truth. Will he be the one to step in there? I don't know. But you can rest assured, right? If Conor defeats Nurmagomedov, he may indeed take a break and fight somebody in boxing for millions. Who that name is, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I know people thought they heard Pacquiao. Oh, Pacquiao is going to fight Conor McGregor. not before he has a belt around his waist. I don't see it happening, people. I don't see that shit happening. Now, it was talk. What's going on? Zabel, what's good? What's good? Michael Johnson boxing talk. What's good? What's good with you? Salute. I don't see. And I know somebody mentioned the GSP deal, right? And I always got to, lay the comparisons out there when you're talking about GSP or Carissa Shields fighting this person at this weight, what she fought in boxing, what she's going to fight at at mixed martial arts, right? So if you take GSP, who came back and defeated Michael Bisping in 185, people actually believe that GSP will come all the way down to 165 and fight Khabib. Khabib is contending at 155 right now. Even for him to try to make 165 fighting weight, it would be a task that people not understanding, because Khabib's strength and speed and how he's able to get in with, I'm talking about pure and utter preciseness, sharpness. He does it well at 55. Long in the past, Khabib did have weight problems making the scale, but he's been able to do what he's supposed to do. So 65, in my opinion, against somebody like GSP, he would still be the smaller man in the ring. And I don't see that fight happening at all. I don't see it. I don't see Khabib moving up to welterweight, which is 170 pounds. I don't see him even thinking about stepping in there with the likes of Kamaru Usman. I don't see it. I think Khabib's final weight, and this is how mixed martial arts separate themselves from boxing, right? If you look at Khabib's record from when he initially stepped in there with Alaquinta, and that was like, oh, why is this happening? Alaquinta, this guy's a part-time mixed martial artist and then a part-time real estate agent, right? So Alaquinta's a last-minute replacement, and they fought for the vacant and went the distance. Khabib became champion. So moving along, Khabib has been in there with some big names, though. But if you compare him competing and winning a championship in a single division to GOAT status, Khabib is going to resonate a little bit different if he's able to defeat Conor McGregor. This is why I say that. In boxing, they won't look at something, a resume like Khabib and say, he's Hall of Fame, man. He's this, that, and the other. Because boxing is so huge. And they're going to say, well, why you didn't lead the division? You get that Gennady Golovkin energy. Why you been campaigning the same fucking division? With Khabib, him being able to disperse of Michael Johnson, Edson Barbosa. Come on, man. He's been in there with the Dustin Poiriers, Justin Gaethje, Conor McGregor's. Look at the same thing I praise Conor McGregor for doing. I can praise Khabib in a little subtle way too. Because Khabib, man, he defeated Conor McGregor, who was a former champ, subbed him out. This is what makes it so special. He submitted them. Faced Dustin Poirier, who was the interim champion, who ended up defeating Max Holloway for the interim belt. He defeated Max and went in there and was subbed out in 3 rounds. This is top tier elite competition. Khabib subbed out Dustin Poirier in the 3rd round. Then he goes in there against one of my favorite. I ain't gonna lie, Justin Highlight Gaethje. Watching him fight in those wars over there in the World Series, the way he used to leave it all on the line, then, jump up on the cage and do his backflip off the back. Dude was all about the firefight. So I was like, just like Michael Chandler, I was like, damn, when Justin Gaethje gonna get his shot? I'd like to see him in the UFC. And finally, the word was passed. He loses twice. He goes back and knocks out James Vick, and he goes on like a little tear and gets his shot with Khabib. Now, Justin Gaethje, I have mad respect for his toughness and the way he go about delegating punishment. But Khabib subbed this man out in 2 rounds, y'all. Khabib subbed him out in 2 rounds. IB, what's good, man? Yeah, man, dude was fighting in Chucks, bro, and goddamn Dick Sporting Goods starter shorts. You know what I'm saying? The type of shorts you don't show up to the court with, even if you damn running pickup games. You know what I'm saying? But Justin Gaethje, man, he was subbed out easily in a bubble in the second round. So that takes your three top tier opposition in the lightweight division: Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, and freaking Justin Gaethje. All of those are top tier competition. That in itself extended Khabib to basically become the number one pound for pound, because primarily when you're looking at the scheme of everything, John Jones vacated his belt so somebody else can pick it up. So John Jones was basically in that position for quite some time, man. So now that he's out of the sport and he's putting on all this muscle and everything to contend at the heavyweight division, they moved Khabib, who was still active, into the top pound for pound spot. This fight with Conor McGregor and Khabib would do exemplary numbers. I'm talking about incredible if this rematch is to take place, because there's so much hostility that took place after the first fight. Listen, y'all, this is something that you don't see all the time. You seeing a fighter throwing a metal dolly at a truck. You seeing absolute mayhem and chaos. You had UFC fighters hurt, cut, unable to fight that night. You have Conor McGregor, who's just coming off, millions, multiple millions of Floyd Mayweather. Dana White inserts that shit into the promo leading up for Conor McGregor and Khabib. He's the protagonist. He inserted portions of those clips into the promo leading up to the fight. So when the fight had ended and Khabib subbed him out, Dillian Dennis over there running his fucking mouth and talking shit, and Khabib's him hearing that. And this is with a crowd, y'all. This is in a crowd. This is with a crowd. He throws his mouthpiece at him. And at that moment, he made a decision, say, you know what, I'm going to fuck this motherfucker up. The eagle took flight. He run over to the cage, scale that motherfucker, and jump out into the crowd. It's mayhem. When the smoke cleared, you had Conor McGregor up there fighting Khabib's people, being sucker punched. Conor McGregor sucker punched one of Khabib's relatives. And, they was fighting inside the damn cage. It was chaos every fucking where. And from my understanding, that Conor McGregor was only fined 50 stacks to Khabib's $500,000. So that might play a factor in why Khabib feels some type of way about facing Conor McGregor. Khabib may not have any self-control not to damn do some shit to Conor McGregor and end up getting disqualified. Because when you take a fighter like Khabib that love his parents, love his family, love the sport, love what he's able to do. I mean, I'm talking about love, that deep love. When Conor McGregor disrespect his religion like that, and you had Khamzat Chimaev try to get into the damn country by himself, the fuck Conor McGregor up. Chimaev went solo dolo, bro, on a hit mission, and somebody stopped him. I guess word got out that he was en route and he was looking for Conor McGregor after all that shit happened. Chimaev went over there like a G, and he was going to pull up on Conor McGregor and say, we're going to handle this shit. Tone said, I don't see anyone beating Khabib. The ugly truth in the building, man. I just read your comment. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Real talk. Justin will get another shot. But Conor, Dustin, and Oliveira are horrible matchups for him. Horrible mess. Let me see. Justin will get another shot, but Dustin and Oliveira, absolutely, I agree. So you saying that Dustin and Oliveira is a bad matchup for Justin Gaethje? Absolutely, especially Oliveira. He already fought Dustin Poirier, though. You know what I'm saying? Justin Gaethje's already fought Dustin Poirier. He fought him. He lost. But to what you said, Zabo, it is a horrible matchup for Justin Gaethje. Oliveira jiu-jitsu game, being that Justin Gaethje was subbed out in 2 frames, you don't want that. You don't want that mat time with Oliveira. That is the one out of all that trio, out of that entire trio, that he does not want. Justin Gaethje don't want him. But back to Khabib. I think it's more of a disrespect the UFC showed Khabib. Mad respect today. You had them yelling and stuttering, looking for backup. Man, you see what I'm doing. I'm on some other shit, bro. You know, it ain't personal, man. I let them, that was their kingdom. So I went over there and did what I had to do, man. At the end of the day, this shit ain't personal. But, you know, I know they was over there talking shit about me. Mark Pinkton, what's good? Afternoon WCS, I see Khabib Conor 2 in Russia. That would be a Khabib final fight. Good point, man. Good point. Now look at it this way too, Mark Pinkton. After what we've seen in Brazil, you know what I'm saying? Mainly Brazil, because the UFC was pretty much, you know, taking fights over to Brazil. Brazil. Do you think the individuals, the people over there, being that potentially it may be a partial crowd, all right? Because if you look at the press conference that just went down, it was people out there. It was a partial gathering. They were social distance, but it was a partial gathering. Do you think it would be feasible? It would be healthy for Dana White to bring Conor McGregor to Russia for Khabib's last fight. Conor may not make it out that motherfucking dog. I'm serious. If Conor McGregor thinks him being nice with Dustin Poirier, with Dustin giving him a bottle of hot sauce, and he's probably going to give Dustin a bottle of proper 12. Do you believe it will be healthy to have Khabib Conor 2 in Russia and Khabib's last fight? You really want all the Russian OGs to come out and say, you know what, my brother, he isn't making it up out of here, my brother. Everything we love, he's not making it out of here, my brother. I wouldn't want that to happen, Mark. I wouldn't want Conor McGregor to take a trip over to Russia, dog. Is people still upset? You don't disrespect the Muslims like that. You don't disrespect the family. His dad was so known, man. His dad was well respected over there, dog. Like the shit you talked about his people. Please don't make that. Don't make it in Russia. You got to find a neutral. You got to find a neutral common place there, Mark. Else somebody getting extra attention when it's all said and done. That the truth say Khabib really coming back for any of these dudes. Maybe Khabib versus Oliveira. I look at Khabib Oliveira fight is a fight if he chooses to stay in the sport. Right now, Dana White is trying to make a huge fight because, you know, once again, Conor McGregor is trying to make moves. Conor McGregor has made it a point to say he wants to be a boxing world champion. Mauricio Suleiman has mentioned that he's willing to accommodate Conor McGregor. So if you have Mauricio Suleiman saying, okay, cool, what does that tell you? That's painting a picture that Dana White is trying his best to get Conor McGregor Khabib to. And then I truly believe, like, I'll take that back. I don't believe Conor McGregor when he says that Khabib got the best of him on that night. He said, Khabib got the best. I mean, Khabib was his best that night, and he got the worst of me. He got me at my worst. I don't believe that. Because you went into the 4th round with Khabib. How is that the worst? Because from round 2, 3, and 4, damn near you were sitting on your ass trying to find a way to post up and make it back to your feet. But Khabib disallowed that. His top control is just, on a whole nother level. His top position. So you have to look at it for what is. When Khabib is in top position, which is most of the time, he's punching fighters in the face. He has your legs restrained to prevent you from gathering any type of momentum to post up. And he's just an incredible grappler. So Conor McGregor will have to go in there and have the fight of his life, beat Khabib, and then potentially set up this boxing match. And once again, Dana White being a part of the crossover for millions. I'm talking about millions. People are going to pay millions to see Conor McGregor Khabib Nurmagomedov too. People are going to pay millions to see Conor McGregor fight another boxer, especially if he's champion. King Mitch in the building. What's good? Come back. What up? What up? Conor McGregor is world class. Is out. Solid point. Solid point. I was talking to somebody about that in another chat, right? A while back. And they were trying to say, well, he really don't have that cardio problem anymore. That was just when he fought Diaz. And I said, well, let's just look at it this way. He didn't have enough energy to keep Khabib off of him. And Khabib was pressing him. They used the 5 rounds that he went with Nate Diaz. One who will allow you to have space, distance, and you're able to dictate your momentum. You're going to be able to have, that breathing room to pace yourself. You're going to be able to pick and choose when you want to close distance. If you want to keep it a striking match, cool. I mean, we know Nate Diaz is a BJJ black belt, but Conor McGregor has pretty good takedown defense. So in the second fight, he was able to go, 5 rounds with Nate because Nate's pressure wasn't the way it was their first outing. Does Conor have cardio issues? I believe he still does. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, so he went into the 4th round with Khabib. Remember, when he went into the 4th round with Khabib, it was good on Conor's part because he was using limited energy. He wasn't fully exerting himself in a stand-up striking battle. He was sitting down, and though it takes energy to defend someone like Khabib from flattening you out on your back and then giving you GNP, ground and pound, you have to take into consideration that Conor McGregor was still, able to conserve some energy than if he would have been on his feet throwing punches. You know what I'm saying? Because Conor McGregor, though he's a counter puncher, if you get somebody with the right energy and present pressure on Conor, he will gas. If you give him that Nate Diaz round 1 type of energy, he will gas. Look at his fights when he won his championship. No one really seen him or seen that he was exposed to his cardio issues because 13 seconds is 13 seconds, no matter how you count it. And then Eddie Alvarez, once again, he was trying, but he ended up being knocked out. He wasn't really pressing like Diaz was at 170. So the fans really didn't, get to see Conor McGregor gassing out with his cardio issues. Now, Mitch mentioned that he gassed out with Khabib, Nate Diaz, and Mayweather. So Mitch, he went into the 10th round. That's the most round he ever went. So I was expecting him to be gassed. He was gassed way before that round. Conor McGregor was gassed way before he got stopped by Mayweather. Now he was gassed long before that. Like he was hurting. Mayweather, being the genius he is, the TBE, one of the greatest to ever do it. He's seen it. On Conor couldn't even really do anything. Like he was so fucking tired. It's much different than a 5-minute mixed martial arts match when you're basically having on heavier gloves, first of all, and you're unable to substitute your striking with punching. That shit fucked Conor McGregor up. And Floyd Mayweather was salivating. He said, yeah, well, hey, this is what it's like over here. You want to come over here to the boxing ring. But hey, I salute you, man. We hit him in the head for 100. We hit him in the head for a bill for PPV. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to make a lot of money. So keep on doing your part. But I'm going to stop your ass in the 10. His diet was bad, eating heavy protein steaks, gassing him out in fights. He changed his diet to improve. If you talk about Conor McGregor, he used to shrink down and contend at featherweight at one point in time, and he looked terrible. But the one thing about it, we never really seen a fight go long enough. When he fought Dennis Silver, that didn't do too much. When he fought Chad Mendez, we didn't get the chance to see his gas tank on display. So Conor McGregor was able to go in there and finish fights. You got to give him this respect for that. But changing his diet, yeah, man, that's all a part of the game. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. You have to then pay close attention to what you're struggling with the most outside of training camp. If it's your weight, then you have to somehow, some way hire on a proper nutritionist. And protein steaks, Jesus, we know what steak is. Steak gives you the protein, but also it's different types of steaks. And we know it takes steaks long enough to digest. So anybody who diet, it's always a timetable for fighters getting closer and closer to the fight that they have to modify their diet. So you have to make sure you have the best meat, the best vegetables, the best carbs. So you continue to be within weight and you still feel good enough to do the 2 or 3 a days. You know what I'm saying? That's very important. But that's a good point, y'all. Good point about this. But remember, I told you, I've been contemplating this fight right here in front of me, McGregor and Poirier, right? I've been seriously contemplating whether to change my pick because you hear people all the time saying, I'm my heart is with Dustin Poirier, but I'm going with Conor, and I'm like, what? Your heart is with someone. Your heart is with someone else outside of who you're selecting for a winner. So you're not going off your heart, what's closest to you. You're saying, my heart's with Dustin, but I'm going with Conor McGregor. So your heart means absolutely nothing. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Mike Lewis, OG in the building, man. How you feel, big dog? He said, Big Scott, peace. Salute to everyone in the chat. I want Conor to sleep if Dustin can pull it off. Plus, if he wins, that McGregor versus Mayweather 2 fight would be all people talking about. That would be huge, man. I'm serious. That would be huge. That would be huge what you just said. But you can't have it both ways there, Mike. Because look, if Dustin sleeps Conor, then there's no way we're getting a damn McGregor Mayweather 2, if that's what you meant. But the caveat off what you said was McGregor versus Mayweather 2. I'm thinking about this fight, right? Him being a champion and somehow being able to get a fight with Floyd Mayweather. If Floyd, I think he would. Even in 2022, I think Floyd will still take that Conor McGregor fight rematch. I think so. But Conor has to have a belt. He has to have some type of damn stock for people to damn buy that shit. But check this out, though. I'm seriously thinking Floyd Mayweather can charge. Let's just say the pandemic is still dissolving a little bit. Live Gate is opening up. The seats are being packed just, a little bit. I'm thinking they can damn near charge close to $100 again for this rematch. Seriously. I'm going off some of the numbers of some boxing matches that we had in the bubble. And I'm looking at how things are somewhat, I wouldn't say COVID-19 is just absolutely going away. But it seems like the economy is allowing certain businesses and the government, you have to look at that too. They're opening up for potential sports facilities that was hosting all these combat sports fights to open up with a partial live gate. So if you have a partial live gate, which we've seen in Texas recently, and you take Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, I believe they can potentially charge close to a bill again, $100 bill. I truly believe that can happen, y'all. I feel it. I want Dustin to sleep Conor to kill the Mayweather rematch. Oh, okay, all right, man. I'm gonna tell you like this: if Dustin Poirier sleeps Conor McGregor, because Conor, just for your knowledge, individuals just tune in, because I always have to do these comparisons. Check this out. Conor McGregor has lost. Conor McGregor has been subbed out. I mean, I'll say lost. Take that back. Lost. He's lost in the featherweight division. He's lost in the lightweight division. And he's lost in the welterweight division. So I know what you're saying. You coming back and you're saying, well, he only lost twice in the UFC. That's right. Because he came over to the UFC with 2 losses already. He came into the UFC with 2 losses. He absolutely did. The first loss he received in the UFC was Nate Diaz, man. Subbed him out RNC second round. And then he lost to Khabib on his return from his boxing match with Floyd Mayweather. Yes. So he's lost at 145, 155, and 170. That's amazing, huh? But then you look at him with this, him facing Dustin Poirier. This shit is trending as if he was there facing Khabib. It's just incredible because this is what separates mixed martial arts from boxing as far as the fanfare goes. Dustin Poirier just lost not too long ago to Khabib in the 3rd round submission, right? But he's back in a fucking main event. He just lost not too long ago. And then he had that win over Dan Hooker. And he's right back on the main event against who? The one and only Conor McGregor, who finished Cowboy Cerrone in 40 seconds. Which a lot of us heard Cowboy Cerrone say, I didn't want to be there. That's just crazy how, the shift, the ebbs and flows of mixed martial arts, how a fighter can be on such a high, right? And then step in there for the grand prize, loses, get a couple of fights, and they're right back main eventing against a worthy name. That's always going to separate mixed martial arts from boxing. It's also the divisions. It's also organization, as far as the belts. It's also all of that collectively when it comes to having a single president to moderate the flow of traffic in the UFC. With boxing, everything is sporadic everywhere. They would get 70 to 100 for the rematch easily. So I'm sure the machines is working towards it. I just want Dustin to dead the noise. Yeah, man, they can get 70 easy. Easy work, they can get 70. Easy, without any type of question, $70 easy. It's what's in between the 70 and 100. Will they say, okay, we coming back for this, we're going to put it at $89.99? You know what I'm saying? And then look at it, Mike. They might say, hey, $99.99. That's not $100, but that 99 look better. That 100, 99.99. That's what the PPV going to be. I'm just saying, if they was to do that. Just say 89.99. It doesn't look that bad because it's not 90. It's so petty. You know what I'm saying? $89.99 is so petty to fool the visual of those who's looking to pay for it. Hey, are y'all coming over? It's $89.99. That's not that bad. It could be 90. And y'all, we're gonna have a fight party. $89.99, man. It's not that bad. To be honest, it's not that bad. Really. It could be worse. So come on over. Let's eat some wings, pizza. Cowboy took a dive. Absolutely. Cowboy went in there and took a motherfucking dive. People, I remember saying that shit, and people looking at me. No way, that's Cowboy. This Cowboy Cerrone took a dive against Conor McGregor, man. He act like, look, the reason why I agree with Mike is the fact that Cowboy Cerrone is so highly skilled as a mixed martial artist. To allow Conor McGregor to hit him with shoulder strikes, to allow Conor McGregor to push him back, and he has no freaking response. And this is what makes it more sense than what Mike just said. Conor hits him with a high kick. You know, he knocks him down, do all that other bullshit, shoulder thrusts and shit, and he end up finishing the fight in 40 seconds, right? But Donald Cowboy Cerrone comes right back around his next fight and go the distance. No problems whatsoever. He's acting like he's old and decrepit against Conor McGregor, but he returns back to the cage and goes the distance. No problem. It's a fix, man. What's going on, Andrew Charles? How you feel? Salute, WCS. Salute to you. Salute to you. Salute to everybody that's in the chat that pulled up and support the boxing, mixed martial arts, and everything else collectively in pugilism. Appreciate the ones who are regulars over here. You know what I'm saying? And believe me, I see you. I see you. I appreciate you. The regulars, I appreciate you. D-Ray in the building. What's good? Jay, salute to you. It's going to come down to one thing in this fight with McGregor and Poirier. From what I've seen on the face-off, a lot of people are once again jumping on the Conor McGregor motherfucking night train. Like, Conor McGregor has totally changed himself around with his kids. I'm not the one to sit up here and continue the whole shit against him, but you know, sometimes when you do some fucked up shit against people, religions, and parents, it takes him a long time to forget about that shit. Now that he has kids, we cannot just sit up here and smooth that shit over like he wasn't just in the media for alleged sexual assault. He wasn't over there punching an old man in the head for not drinking his whiskey. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't out here throwing metal dollies at the truck of his freaking compeers. The man was on a rampage. I'm telling you, he gets the pass, man, because he's a neighboring fighter. He's an Irish fighter. People love his bravado and his accent, and he gets a pass to keep it moving. But then, as I'm sitting up here criticizing Conor McGregor in the mixed martial arts, being that I follow that shit closely, I have to turn to John Jones. John Jones is somewhat of an enigma when you place the so-called race card into fanfare or whatever. You really can't say that too much about the mixed martial arts when it's comparable to boxing, because John Jones is absolutely a grimy individual. He said it. He was doing drugs. He popped for Pez. He was in a hit and run. He was out during the pandemic, supposedly fired a weapon into the sky, had marijuana all in his lap. Goddamn. What did we stop? He got into it with the law enforcement officer. But look, John Jones is not a neighboring fighter. He is a black mixed martial artist. His brothers play in the NFL. And John Jones is one of the best to ever compete in the cage. And people love him. This is what is uniquely misunderstood about mixed martial arts and boxing. And I always encourage people to, follow mixed martial arts too. This is what's uniquely crazy about that. Deontay Wilder is somewhat the same stature of John Jones, but he's in boxing. And John Jones' competition was those in his weight class that was higher in rank for him to face, right? But in my opinion, Deontay Wilder did a lot of defending and actions that you would want from a champion, but he was vilified, right? John Jones, on the other hand, he did everything that you thought Deontay Wilder has done in his life. You would think he has done what Tyson Fury has did. You would think he has absolutely been a criminal and out here doing things that's unjustified. You would think Deontay Wilder has the record of a John Jones. But John Jones does. And the people love him. They love him. When John Jones was suspended and DC was winning, DC walk out, DC, 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 DC. The crowd is roaring, DC, DC. And then the breeze changed, right? It was vibrations on the ground. People was like, sidebar conversation. Hey, John Jones met with the commission. They charged him $250,000. They pretty much said, okay, you good to go as long as you meet all the damn testing requirements and shit from USADA. You can rejoin and get your license back for the sport. When the word got out that John Jones was headed back, they turned on DC. DC is a black fighter, dog. Popeye's eating DC. That's what's incredible about the mixed martial arts fan base, man. They are very, very different from boxing. That's why I love juggling both of them together, is because you get a different energy from mixed martial arts fans and boxing fans. So when John Jones started to come back, people start vilifying DC. You're going to get your ass whipped. You fat boy. You ain't going to do this. John's going to knock you out. It happened. He's 2-0 up on DC. Even though all the shit with him they come to find out that, some shit take longer period of times to leave someone's system. John Jones changed the game when it came to testing, because Dana White is like, why should I punish him again when he's been punished just because the picogram numbers came back very minimal and we supposed to suspend him again? It changed the way USADA decided to do business, because USADA even said that the UFC, along with USADA, said we're not going to announce a fighter popping dirty until we properly investigate both samples thoroughly. Because fighters, their career was being in jeopardy, their brand, all of that shit. But anyway, it's very unique. Just Blaze, what's good? What's good? Just Blaze, what's good? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate it. Like I always show love, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like the regulars that show up, I'm cool with that. I don't have to have 300 motherfuckers. The ones that I'm communicating with right now, it's absolutely cool. So when people mention numbers to me, that does nothing. Because really, if I'm having a dialogue about the topic with like-minded individuals, I'm straight. But appreciate you pulling up, Just Blaze. D-Ray is Khabib, brother, the next star. He is a star already. He's about to retire. Khabib is already a star, bro. He's already a star. The only reason that he was sitting behind John Jones, because John Jones' resume, oh my God, it's just nasty. John Jones' resume, y'all. Who he's been in there. I don't have to pull it up. Mauricio Shogun Hua, Alexander Gustafsson twice, Daniel Cormier twice, Lyoto Machida, Stephen Bonner, Dominique Reyes. John Jones' resume is crazy. That's why he was in front of Khabib. Khabib placement on the pound for pound list happened because John Jones temporarily retired from the sport to basically prepare himself for the heavyweight division. He's trying to become a second division champ from light heavyweight, where he vacated his title, to heavyweight. But his resume, though, is unfucking believable. And that's why you look at Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier. They have respectable resumes. But when it comes to John Jones, nobody has never beat him inside that cage. When it comes to Khabib Nurmagomedov, no one has ever defeated Khabib in the cage. Both of these fighters you're looking at on this thumbnail, they've been defeated. The O means something to a point, okay? If you're able to maintain that O in the UFC and mixed martial arts, cool. But it don't matter about nothing. It don't matter. We see Cowboy Cerrone fighting on TV, and the dude has double-digit losses. Double-digit losses, y'all. We see Juan Blachowicz, several losses against top tier. He steps in there to fight for the vacant light heavyweight title against Dominique Reyes, and he wins. For so-called champ status. But you know who did it first? Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor, of all freaking people, did it first. He became champ in two divisions simultaneously. He did it first. And as I always talk about how legendary it is, for him to go from featherweight up to welterweight, have two fights and come back down to Eddie Alvarez. He didn't come back down after he was subbed out for freaking Nate Diaz. He came back down after his second fight at 170, dropped back down to 155, and dispersed Eddie Alvarez. That is some motherfucking legendary shit right there. To go from 145, knocking out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds, 145, y'all, all the way up to 170. From 145 as a champion, all the way up to 170. And people in boxing talk about weight all the time. That's why I have a little bit less of a concern when you want to add weight into it. Because in mixed martial arts, you're thinking to yourself, am I going to move up to a heavier division where someone can wrestle me? They can clinch, they can kick, punch. They can deliver any type of striking technique they chooses, whether it be frontward, backward. And I'm going to choose to go from 145 all the way up to 170. Unfucking believable by Conor McGregor. Seriously. Unbelievable. Legendary shit. Artem. You know, looking at that name, Artem Block, say McGregor will be knocked out. Listen, when I spoke to Artem Lobov, man, oh shit, when I spoke to Artem Lobov, if you would have said that shit, Artem Lobov would have looked at you, my friend. How do you think one of the best fighters in the UFC in Conor is going to get knocked out? He's the toughest around. Artem Lobov would have defended McGregor to the highest. He would have freaking tore his shirt off and say, how dare you disrespect my good friend, Conor McGregor. Michael Lewis said, yes, sir. Belfort. Yeah, Vito Belfort, man. Listen, I didn't give everybody but Vitor Belfort. Let's take Vito Belfort for instance. Brazilian Vitor Belfort. He is one of the legends of the sports. You know what I'm saying? He's a world renowned. He's known, right? Especially when he was a bigger Vitor. And we're talking about the TRT Vitor. Vitor Belfort is one of the only fighters to lock in a submission on John Jones. Damn near had his right hand as a bone collector. We're talking about a high-class BJJ practitioner. He, in my opinion, was the closest to subbing out John Jones, Vitor Belfort. He had John Jones in a freaking armbar, and that shit was motherfucking high-class, tight, technically sound. And John Jones worked himself out of it. Even though he was injured, he worked himself out of it. But Vitor had that shit 6-12 armbar on John Jones, and he could have very well been the first man to hand John Jones a defeat, a legitimate defeat. Matt Hamill, that shit was a DQ in favor of Matt Hamill. No one has ever defeated John Jones in the cage, bro. Do you think that McGregor will one day win the 170-pound title? Damn good question, bro. That's very hard to say, man. The reason why I'm saying that is I have to weigh in on what's his Achilles heel. Wrestling, right? But Conor McGregor's takedown defense is getting pretty decent. It's all about how long Kamaru Usman will be around that division. Will Kamaru Usman think about moving up to middleweight? Because middleweight right now is on lock by Israel Adesanya. So will we see a shift in tide, as in Israel moving up potentially at light heavyweight, the campaign at light heavyweight? Because I already talked about the big fight that's in the vortex right now that they're trying to make, that potentially do the biggest numbers, that will probably rank up there with the boxing of over 1 million buys. But back to the task at hand. Kamaru Usman facing Conor McGregor. The way I've seen, and you're talking about a person who wasn't a Kamaru Usman type of fan. I just thought he was extremely boring, no personality, and he just did what Johnny Hendricks did all the fucking time. He just want to lay on a motherfucker. Can't Conor fuck with Kamaru Usman? I don't know, man. Kamaru Usman has proven he got pretty decent hands, and his wrestling is solid. Real talk. For Conor McGregor to go up to 170, there will have to be a shift. Seriously. Kamaru Usman will have to move up. I don't know. You know, to be honest, Gilbert Burns is stepping in there. He's a multi-time ADCC BJJ world champion. I'm curious to see what success he have with his BJJ background. But Conor McGregor, I don't see him beating Kamaru Usman right now. So unless we're talking about something in 2022, it's possible, man. It's according to who's there. I just don't see Kamaru Usman losing anytime. Like, people always say, yeah, anything can happen. That's not the way I think. I look at the skill set, their matches, how they perform, what their pros and cons is as far as the technical ability, and I take it from there. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it, bro. I don't see Conor McGregor being a champion 170 anytime this year. Hell no. I don't see him fucking with Kamaru Usman right now. I mean, Kamaru is shredded. That dude is strong. His wrestling is on point. He has pretty decent hands. And who am I to sit up here and lie to you and say, I said that shit a year ago? I was saying, damn, Kamaru Usman on the card? God, I don't want to look at that shit. But he's the man right now, dog. Yeah, Rashad Evans. Shout out to Rashad Evans. Sugar. Rashad Evans was in the building on the podcast. Not this podcast, but another podcast. I remember when he faced Brad Irons, y'all. Come on, who you fucking with, y'all? Come on, man. I do this shit. I remember he fought Brad Irons. Once again, a weight difference. Rashad Evans went in there and fought big ass Brad Irons as his first Ultimate Fighter finale. And he defeated him. Anyway, back to the game. Michael Lewis say, I don't like John Jones personally. As a real student and a fan of the fight game, John Jones is absolutely great. Hence why I'm over him. I still would talk my shit. That's being said, he is great. Yeah, John Jones will tell you, man, that you know, if they allowed me to have an interview with John Jones or Usain Bolt, you know what I'm saying? Two guys, two freakish athletes, right? I would, off of what I've seen, I would want to interview Usain Bolt, being that I was, you know, prior track running myself, but his personality come off as me. I would have a very thorough and user-friendly interview, because sometimes you need the interviewee to basically help you along and carry the interview. With John Jones, he may not carry you. You know what I'm saying? He may give you short sentences or whatever. But anyway, I still respect the man for his game, though. He is one of the best to ever do it. I thought Reyes won against Jones, but you can see how the judges gave it the win. All right, let's talk about that. I even said this on my live. I don't know what live is it, but if you rewind my live, when that fight happened, I said that I believe Dominic Reyes won 3-2. I even broke it down to the point where John Jones attempted a takedown at the end of the third, but nothing. But yet he was able to successfully earn takedowns in the fourth and the fifth. I didn't think he did enough early with Dominic Reyes being first. So yes, I agree. I thought that Dominic Reyes, in my opinion, did enough to defeat John Jones via decision. The Ugly Truth say no, not beating Usman. Agree. I agree. I just don't think he can fuck with Usman right there. Usman is, listen, one thing about Usman, he comes in shape. I don't know if he's clean or dirty, but dude is shredded. He comes in fucking shape and he gets the job done. He defeated Jorge Masvidal, Colby Covington. You know what I'm saying? The big names that you look at. Hey, man, he did it. Man, he washed. This is a term I never thought I'll use with Tyron Woodley. He washed Tyron. He washed him. The Ugly Truth say Usman also too big, too strong. Absolutely. I would love to see Usman versus McGregor fight. I hate them both. Hope they kill each other. That's must-see TV. Damn. He said, hope he kill each other. Hey, man. Like I said before, it was a point in time that I was like, damn, Usman's on the motherfucking main card. I do not want to see this dude fight. And then there was a point in time I was saying with McGregor, I said, I'm getting sick and tired of people overhyping this guy, and he's not really doing anything. You know, he has the Irish accent. He talks the talk. But I'm like, why are y'all hyping this guy up? And then the presser happened where he got so deep in Jose Aldo's psyche. He molested the shit out of Jose Aldo's psyche. Oh my God. It was verbal abuse. He allowed for psychological dilapidation. He fucked with Jose. He mind fucked Jose Aldo so fucking bad to the point where the bell rung and Jose just thought about himself. Oh man, I gotta go ahead and knock this motherfucker out. Both of these guys threw a punch. Connor's landed and Jose is out. After the fight, Jose goes into a freaking hello darkness, my good friend, and he cries. That's how much that knockout loss meant to him. He felt that he was a much better fighter than Conor. But he didn't get a chance to prove that because impulsively going off Conor, mind fucking him the entire promo. And one of the best press conferences, though, I'm telling you, Conor McGregor, I ain't gonna lie, Conor McGregor owned the motherfucking press conference leading up to the Jose Aldo. He owned everybody that was on the stage, from freaking Cowboy Aldo, right? Jose Aldo goes in there and takes a knee, man, and just balls out. He's like, God damn, I know I'm better than that. This dude just slapped me. This dude slapped me in 13 fucking seconds. 13 seconds. One, we was going to see the legend of the sport. And Jose Aldo title reign was damn near, what, 9 years? When they was blending over, when they was blending in the changeover of certain divisions, they allowed certain individuals to fight for a championship right off the back to jumpstart the division. That's when the WC was being phased out, and they start bringing over the Uriah Favors, DCs, you know what I'm saying, the Dominic Cruzes and all them, Jose Aldo. Yeah. Jose Aldo reigned for a long time, man. Usman, with what he did alone to Covington, earned my loyalty, called me a fanboy, don't care. That was bigger than MMA. So what you said is what he did to Covington. Was it more so the fight or the fact that Kobe Covington was putting all that political shit in there? Because I have to agree with you. And if I don't, I usually say I partially agree or whatever. But I do have to agree with you. The Kobe Covington fight outside of the Tyron Woodley fight. Seriously. What he did to Tyron Woodley kind of made me raise a brow. I was like, shit, he washed Tyron. But when it came to Kobe Covington, all the damn politics, wearing the Magnum cap and all this other bullshit, I said, Kamar, you need to get this motherfucker to business. Go in here and fuck this motherfucker up. I'm tired of hearing Kobe Covington and all this freaking Donald Trump shit and all that Magna Cap shit. Go fuck his ass up. And he got it done. Seriously, but what won me over, because I ain't gonna lie, I was going for Tyron Woodley. But when he was able to dominate him the way he did, I was like, Kamaru Usman is the truth. This dude made Tyron Woodley look like he was straight out Division half A minus wrestling. Like, partially he has a certificate from the YMCA, an open recreational league in wrestling, and some other shit. He didn't look like he was even on the level of Kamaru Usman. Conor mind game is truly on a different level. It is, man. That's why I was mentioning earlier is that you see Conor McGregor being nice to Dustin Poirier. That's outside of what he did to every opponent. Like Conor McGregor's defining moment when it came to the promos and the face-off was how he disrespected his opponent, especially when he did that to Nate Diaz, you know, and Jose Aldo, man. Like Conor McGregor was ruthless. He was ruthless on the motherfucker promo and the face-off. That's what Dana loved about Conor. When you up here fucking with people so hard, but yet you coming out with the victory, Dana White saying, okay, that's what we want. They couldn't wait till Conor McGregor comes out there and fuck with these fighters. You remember when he said red panty night? He said red panty night. Conor McGregor said, it's red panty night. 3 times, 4 times, it's red panty night. Tell your girl to pull out the red panties. Daddy's coming home. I know I have a very poor damn Irish accent when it comes to Conor McGregor. God damn it. Conor McGregor went down in history with 2 phrases. All right. And I'm gonna tell you what those phrases was. He went down with the phrase "red panty night." All right, and then when Jeremy Stevens said, "When I hit guys, they stay down." You know, when I hit guys, they stay down. And Conor McGregor looking around and shit, and he looked at Jeremy Stevens. And he said, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Oh my God, that shit was hilarious because Jeremy Stevens legit. Jeremy Stevens is legit, y'all. Conor McGregor broke this cat down and made him look like he was absolutely a beginner, a novice, a tyro. He said, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Oh my God. Exactly the mind fuck Conor did to Jose Aldo always made me think to myself, I wonder how Conor would handle the kind of thing. I wouldn't mind seeing him sleep early tonight. Real talk, man. Real talk. You know, when it comes down to it, Mike, I try to like, what is boxing and MMA? I really look at my opinionated, the way I speak on it. I try not to get so close to it, like wishing a fighter this and wishing a fighter that when it comes to the damn punishment. But like I said before, when I wasn't trying to look at Kamaru Usman, I was like, man, this dude is boring as fuck. Remind me of Johnny Hendricks, thinking he was going to stay champion for a long period of time, laying on motherfuckers. And then I looked at Kamaru Usman. He was just a boring ass fucking fighter. I looked at Conor McGregor, was just an overhyped trash talker. And of course, with who they fought, as they progressed along, I changed my mind. Because there's no way I can sit up here and ignore the fact on what legendary shit Conor McGregor was able to do to become a 2-division champion simultaneously. The first one to do it in the male divisions, man. There's a dude who came over to the UFC with 2 losses, moved up to 170 and faced a black belt, BJJ practitioner Nate Diaz, knowing that he had fucked up. It's every bit of menace to society. At that point, he knew he had fucked up. You know you fucked up, right? And Diaz probably wished, you fucked up. No. When you shot in for the double because you was tired of shit, you fucked up, right? Yes, I do know, but Diaz, take it easy on me. No, you fucked up. I'm about to do you dirty. Just buckle up. I'm about to do you dirty. He knew he had fucked up when he shot in. But the people, for him to stand up, right? And the people still cheering him on like he won. The motherfuckers was cheering Conor McGregor on like he motherfucking won that night. And then Dana White, what he does? Yeah, more than likely, we're going to get a rematch. Why? Because Dana White had the plan. Dana White had the Floyd Mayweather lens open. He knows Floyd Mayweather for back in the day. I'm pretty sure Floyd Mayweather was talking to him about that shit. I see that boy Conor. I see him making waves over there. I see him lighting them motherfucking fires over there. We might can do this damn MMA boxing crossover now. Make us a lot of money there, Dana. But Dana was like, okay, I'm going to support Conor all the way. If you heard Dana White say so many times, what Conor wants, Conor gets, right? Especially when Conor knocked out Jose Aldo. So when he dispersed of Nate Diaz a second time, in their second fight, Dana White gave him a motherfucking championship fight immediately after dropping down from welterweight. Who does that? Then he goes in there and becomes champ. And he's on top of the world. And he ended up freaking being in the top 5 of Floyd Mayweather's grossing fights in the history of boxing as an 0-0 fighter. It wasn't just Floyd Mayweather. It was Conor McGregor too, because a lot of motherfuckers felt Conor McGregor was gonna sleep Floyd. You know why they thought that? Because all the masterpiece was put together. What started off as a kaleidoscope for Conor McGregor, that shit started to all come to a visual effect. Everybody knew the clarity of it. They started to put all the shit together. They put the shit together. Because they thinking because he dropped Jose Aldo in 13 seconds. He dropped Nate Diaz a couple of times in a rematch. He went up there and stopped Eddie Alvarez. They believe that he can go over there and potentially stop Floyd Mayweather, man. These people was on the train. They was like, yes, Conor McGregor can fuck him up. Yes. So since people pay to see Floyd lose on the back end of his career, they was going to pay to see Floyd Mayweather lose that night. They charged people $100 for PPV. Usman handled Woodley rather easy. Usman impressed me when he stood up the entire fight versus Covington whole ass. He could have handled him like he did Woodley. I guess he wanted to break his jaw. Well, the one thing I know about this, Mitch, is on the back end of your narrative, yeah, him breaking his jaw, we just don't know whether you're going to break somebody's jaw or not. But one, I can tell you this, for him not wanting to wrestle with Colby Covington was the fact Colby Covington has respectable wrestling pedigree. He has respectable wrestling pedigree, bro. He does. Usman did not want to go in there and use up and exhaust unnecessary energy out of a 5-round championship fight and not have shit on the back end. I mean, his offensive strategy as far as the changes he made, did it work for him? Hell yeah. He fucked Kobe's jaw up. He had that motherfucker swole. But I'm gonna make my assumption. I don't think for one second that he wanted to go in there and wrestle with Colby Covington early on like he did Tyron Woodley. And Colby Covington have, respectable takedown defense. You know what I'm saying? And it's exhausting. It would have been exhausting for Kamaru Usman to attempt the takedowns, and it would have been exhausting for Colby Covington to continue to defend him. Mitch say, who the fuck is that guy? That shit was classic, man. It changed the game. Classic shit by McGregor, for real. He took on the Rock character. Yeah, you can say that. He both of them individuals did the truth. Both of them had incredible personas off what they were saying. If you smell what, man, come on. That shit's a classic, dog. That shit is a motherfucking classic. Both of them had their own bravado. But Conor McGregor, he attached his swag, attached his accent. People was like, damn, this dude talks a lot of shit. There's no way he's backing this up. He ain't shit. Until he went in there and slapped Jose Aldo. And people was like, oh, shit. This motherfucker got some power. Ain't he the southpaw? Oh, damn. And then Nate Diaz comes along. And I'm going to tell you point blank period. I was going for Nate Diaz. I'm not going to sit up here and cap nobody at all here. I was going for Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz, when he was giving him the Stockton slaps, and he started to fuck Conor McGregor up, and Conor was running on fumes, and he shot in for that double. I was like, yes, Jesus. Thank you. Because now you about to be a victim. When he shot in on a BJJ black belt trained by Cesar Gracie, shit was motherfucking over. When he shot on Nate Diaz said, oh my God, Nick, come here, Nick. Come up to the cage. No, this is more so like Nate. Hey, Nick, go to the cage. Check this out, Nick. You know, you can't really understand what the fuck Nate talking about. Come on up. I'm about to sub him out. But look what he did. He shot in on me, Nick. Come on, Nick. What is he thinking? Conor McGregor shot in for a double on a BJJ black belt. Someone who's been fighting grown men since he was a teenager. Yes, Nate Diaz and the Diaz brothers. Trained and raised the Professor Cesar Gracie. Conor McGregor shot in out of desperation because he didn't want to get knocked out. Conor McGregor will absolutely shoot with he never want to get his ass knocked out in the UFC. Just think about his two losses. Conor McGregor chose to shoot in on Nate Diaz, subbed out, and he ended up being subbed out by freaking Khabib. Usman versus Covington was damn boxing match with 4-ounce gloves. It was a stand-up game. Mano a mano, tit for tat. It was a stand-up game. What McGregor said, that shit, he snatched the crown from Rousey. Man, this was so wild about that, what you just mentioned about the Rousey shit. Because how Conor McGregor was able to get the Floyd Mayweather fight was piggybacking off what Ronda Rousey was doing to Floyd Mayweather already. Ronda Rousey was trying to convince the temporaries, the passerbys, that she can fuck Floyd Mayweather up with one hand tied behind her back. She was actually convincing people that she will fuck Floyd up. She was actually having people believe that, that the title run she was on with her defenses, that she will fuck Floyd Mayweather up. So what Conor McGregor did when he allowed himself to be in that position for people to respect his voice, he started doing the same shit Ronda did with Floyd. He started fucking with him. But see, the only thing that was more credible with the way Conor McGregor was doing it, that he was a man. People know Ronda Rousey wasn't going to step in the boxing ring with Floyd Mayweather. And neither was Floyd Mayweather going to step in the cage with Ronda Rousey. But with Conor, it was a very high percentage of him stepping into the boxing ring versus Floyd Mayweather. Because a lot of people don't know that Conor McGregor did box as an amateur. Okay? In Ireland. He did have amateur pedigree, somewhat like Jake Paul, whatever the bullshit. He had a little bit of boxing. Okay? So therefore, when it comes down to him stepping in there with Floyd Mayweather, yeah, he had to get his freaking timing down for boxing. Yeah, he had to step in there with a Paulie Malignaggi. And when I saw Paulie going in there with Conor, I was like, you know, why would you put yourself out there? But then again, that's Paulie, okay? So he had to get with some boxers and spar and make a big deal out of it so the people can believe that he was worthy, that he can go in there and knock out Floyd. So that's why you saw the video clips of potentially him dropping Paulie. You know, they had to bring out the shit just like they was talking about Mike Tyson. When Mike Tyson was making these damn promos and they were speeding up the clips, and you see Mike Tyson lateral movement and shit, landing them jackhammer hooks. They had to build this shit up. They had to build it up. So he took over Ronda Rousey's position as the trash talker, and it blew up because he was champ. People looked at him being champ, and it never been done before. He said, man, this is guy. This is our guy. Conor McGregor, this is his guy. He's going to stop Floyd Mayweather. He's going to hand Floyd his first loss. And Floyd, being the masterful boxing genius that he is, he sat up there and put a ski mask on before his walkout to let you know it's about to be a daylight heist in this bitch. I'm about to rob y'all. Y'all sitting up here believing that this dude can come in here and fight and beat me. It's a robbery. And Floyd did it. When McGregor said the shit, he snatched the crown from Rousey. Conor was begging to be finished when he attempted that takedown. Yeah, he was begging not to get knocked out because it looks much worse when you're tired and just say you have the lasting image like Rashad Evans did. I think what Rashad Evans did with Loyola Machida, or the lasting image that Loyola Machida had when John Jones had him in a front choke up against the cage, and the referee called the fight, and John Jones just let that man flop to the canvas like a sack of Idaho potatoes. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that lasting image. Conor would have had that shit with Nate Diaz if he would have stayed on his feet because he was so exhausted. So his lasting image, it looks better if you being subbed. He tapped twice. He tapped with Nate. He tapped with Khabib. Conor McGregor is okay with tapping out, but he isn't okay with getting knocked out. Which one would you prefer? You know what I'm saying? Which one would you prefer, man? Getting slapped with all these cameras rolling? Or would you want to tap out and live to fight another day? I'll tapping out. So what? They put the meme up there. I don't care. I tapped. But I wasn't asleep. I tapped. That's real talk. So what we gonna be with this fight, y'all? It's gonna be on tonight. It will be on and popping tonight. Let me go over here right quick. If y'all have a little time, let me show you something right quick. Let's walk for a minute. I wanna. So let me share this screen right quick for you. And once again, hit the like button. Appreciate everyone for stopping in on this Saturday. It's been a busy morning for me, but it's work. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. That's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? This is UFC 257, Poirier versus McGregor 2. You know, it's just giving you some insight. Saturday, all right, January 23rd, 10 p.m. Eastern. Now, like I told you before, this shit is going to be on motherfucking late, y'all. Oh, my God. In Abu Dhabi, they will be fighting on Sunday, y'all. We will assist them in ushering in a Sunday morning by looking at these fights. Do you see how many fights on here? 11, y'all. I'm not going to lie to you and say, well, I'm going to be here from fight number 1. It's not happening. Now, with the Stephen Fuller fight and Angela, absolutely. I want to see that shit. I might come in with this fight card right here a little bit later. There you go right here. You have Dustin Poirier 26-0, lightweight. And then you have Conor McGregor 22-4. All right. Dustin Poirier, of course, he's been in there with some of the big names. He has. So is Conor McGregor. So this is why this fight is trending pretty damn good right now. Dan Hooker's 20-9. He coming off a loss to Dustin Poirier. All right. Michael Chandler, 21-5. He's making his debut from Bellator. Like I said before, he has some big wins over, Benson Henderson. I mean, if you look at his training videos on IG, it's just incredible. But he went in there against Patricio Pitbull and was slept in one round. You know what I'm saying? But this fight right here, Dan Hooker and Michael Chandler, may be the sleeper of the night. Seriously, this is going to be incredible. We're looking for Michael Chandler and what he has to offer somebody that's a previous kickboxer in Dan Hooker. And then Jessica Eye, of course, listen, is a very unique connection here. Joanne Calderwood was set to face Valentina Shevchenko, right? It was somewhat like a promised fight. And she said, no, I want to stay active fight. And she went in there against Jennifer Maia, I believe, and was washed. She was done in the first round. So now she has to work her way back up to get that title shot with Valentina the Bullet Shevchenko. And then look at Jessica Eye. Jessica Eye is known for being in there with some of the best. She lost against Ronda Rousey when she was champion. And she lost against her contention to step in there with Valentina Shevchenko for the flyweight championship. Knocked out cold by a left high kick. Oh my God. I take that kick that Valentina Shevchenko performed on Jessica Eye. I think it was worse than Ronda Rousey being head kicked by Holly Holmes. Because when Jessica Eye was kicked in the head, she dropped out. Death. It was vicious. It was motherfucking vicious. So these other fights right here, I'm not going to go too in depth because they're names. Like Brad Tavares, he stepped in there with Israel Adesanya. You know what I'm saying? He's been in there with some of the best, man. He's been in there with some of the best. I ain't gonna lie. He's been there with some big names, but he has 6 losses. Amanda Ribas is a name to look out for. She's 10-1. Look out for Amanda Ribas. Amanda Ribas. You know, when you talk about that Brazilian. So she's in there against Marina Rodriguez. 12-1-2. Keep your eyes open for this fight right here with these women. And you know, Sarah McMahon, she's been around for quite some time. Wrestling background. You know, she's been around the sport for quite some time. 12 victories, 5 losses in there against Julia Pena. It was a lot of hope for Pena when she came in here and was able to win the damn Ultimate Fighter Championship. It was a lot of hope, but she had some bumps in the road. So yeah, that's you know, that's the entire fight card. It's 11 fights on there. Y'all hold one sec. Okay, you know what it is. I'm back. But this is the fight card tonight. And it's PPV, of course. The lightweight main event. And y'all be sure to check that out if you can. You know? Y'all be sure to check that shit out. You know? I ain't saying pay for the shit. But check out my live if indeed I'm here. You know? Check it out. So Mike said that kick Jessica took was epic. It was, bro. Like, Valentina Shevchenko is one of my favorite female fighters. But my number one that I like is Rose Namajunas, the former strawweight champion that defeated Joanna Jędrzejczyk twice. I like her. I know a lot of people like the Lioness, Amanda Nunes, because she's a champion at 135 and 145. I get it. But I like Thug Rose Namajunas because her fight was so personal. Like Joanna, well, what was going on in her life and everything, Joanna Jędrzejczyk made that shit so freaking personal. And Rose went in there and knocked her ass out in 1 round. That's what a lot of people was hoping Jose Aldo was able to do to Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor made this shit so personal. He was hoping that he go in there and smash him. But Rose, oh my God. She went in there and smashed Joanna. And Joanna has never been the same following that fight. So she's one of my she's my number one favorite fight. I like Rose Namajunas, you know, and also Amanda Nunes, and then Valentina Shevchenko. I mean, it's a lot of fighters that outside the champions, you know, that's doing their thing that I like too. But when it comes down to the best, like the only fight I really want to see, there's 2 fights. I want to see Rose Namajunas fight Weili Zhang, the Chinese champion at strawweight, and also I want to see Valentina Shevchenko, the lightweight champion, face Amanda Nunes for a trilogy. That's 2 fights I want to see in the women's division. That's 2 fights. Now, the one big fight I want to see on the male side of the house, to be honest with you, I want to see Israel Adesanya and John Jones. That's epic. I want to see Israel Adesanya face John Jones. Israel Adesanya is the middleweight champion, and we don't know if he's going to defeat Juan Blachowicz, who's the light heavyweight champion currently, but he's moving up to the light heavyweight division to face him. So let's say, for instance, he becomes champ. I would definitely like to see that fight in the future, but with John Jones putting on all this muscle mass, it would be far-fetched to think he's going to put on all this damn muscle mass and then turn back around and meet Israel Adesanya 205. That wouldn't make any sense. I'm not sure Dana White want to have it as a catch weight, but John Jones is looking huge right now. So I'm not saying, you know, like to put on all that weight, it takes time to lose that shit, especially if it's muscle. So this fight is not happening in 21. It don't matter if Adesanya defeats Blachowicz or not. It's not happening. So let's look for 22 to give John Jones time to make this shit happen. I don't know. We'll see. We will see how that plays out. And this is the final thing I want you all to see with Dustin Poirier's record and who he's fought. If you go to 2014, he has that loss to Conor McGregor. Pay close attention. Round 1. All right, this is where I want to end it and put this in your brain as to how this fight may play out, right? So you got Conor McGregor who finished Dustin Poirier in round 1. He goes on a couple of fight win streak. Diego Ferreira, Yancy Medeiros. You know, Yancy at one point in time was supposed to be the next best. You know, defeat Joe Duffy, Bobby Green, which just came a long ways. But look at his next loss, though. He loses to Michael Johnson, who could be punished. Dustin loses to Michael Johnson, round 1 via punches. Conor McGregor, round 1 via punches. You know what I'm saying? So he goes on a little win streak. He faced one of the twins, the Miller twins. No contest with Eddie Alvarez because of illegal knee when Dustin was down. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought Dustin quit in that fight because he was in a bad place and Eddie was coming on. You know, Anthony Pettis, Showtime. Look how he's when he's on his win streak. A decision, stoppage. So this is why this fight is building up like this. Look at that, Max Holloway, decision. But then again, you step in there with Khabib, you lose in round 3 submission. So you're looking at what people are giving Dustin Poirier credit for is this right here, body of work. His body of work right here with these wins. His body of work. and skip Michael Johnson and all these people down here because he was just starting off. Okay. He was starting off a little bit, but they're giving him credit for this body of work right here, even though he was subbed out by Khabib. And the reason why they're giving Dustin Poirier this respect is the fact that Conor McGregor was also subbed out by the champ. So it doesn't make Dustin Poirier look that bad. Then, man, I'm glad he didn't take that fight, that grappling match with Gary Tonin. That would have been crucial. Hey, he had a grappling bout canceled with Gary Tonin. That shit would have been crucial for Dustin Poirier. That would have been another loss, but they don't count that on his record. But anyway, Dan Hooker. Like I said before, Dan Hooker is facing Michael Chandler in the co-main event. He's coming off a loss last year against Dustin Poirier. This win right here for Dustin put him in the position right here with Conor McGregor. All right. So check out Conor McGregor's resume. So let's talk about the legendary shit I was telling you about. We're gonna leave that out of there. This is when it really started to take place, because Dustin Poirier right here, he wasn't really that popular. He wasn't all that good right there. He was just growing in the sport like Conor. But this right here, Dennis Silver, round 2, it makes for a third straight stoppage in round 1, okay? Dennis Silver put him closer to a worthy contender in Chad Mendez, fighting out of Team Alpha Male in Sacramento, California. He finished him round 2, round 1, round 1. All right. That's what set him up for his title, his shot against Jose Aldo, his title shot right here. 13 seconds, y'all. The motherfucking crown is given. He picks up in dominating fashion. 13 seconds against Jose Aldo, however they want to call it. So this is where it gets very, very interesting. For those of you that follow me, I've went through this before. 2015, December 2015. He steps. Look, check this out. This is, let me drop this down. This is a featherweight championship contended at 145 pounds, y'all. In December 2015. In March, not the middle, not the end, in March of 2016, he faces Nate Diaz. That is damn near. We're talking about less than 2.5 months. How, Sway? He steps in there at welterweight, y'all. Check this out. Welterweight. 170 pounds in a 5-minute main event. From December to March of 2016, he's in there with Nate Diaz. He gets subbed out. Then they had a cancel bout. We're talking about from March to August. In August, he steps back in there for a decision. But still, he's there, right? He steps in there and loses the decision against Nate Diaz. Once again, at welterweight. This is legendary shit. 2 fights at 170. So count the months with me. August 20th. 9, 10, 20. Once again, less than 2.5 per se. Less than 2.5. He goes from 170 down to fight in 2016, Eddie Alvarez at 155. It's legendary shit he pulled off. The weight difference. When I see motherfuckers in BJJ tournaments fighting in the absolute division, and they're fighting dudes that outweigh them damn near 100 pounds. When it comes to boxing, I'm looking at that shit like, why weight is such a huge talking point in boxing? When it comes to grappling and mixed martial arts, you see shit like this, and you see people taking risk. You seen Daniel Cormier move from light heavyweight to heavyweight. Didn't matter. You saw Conor McGregor, what he was able to do. Legendary shit right here. Keep going. He wins. He faced Eddie Alvarez. And then 2016, he take a little bit more time off to face Floyd Mayweather. This weight is 154 pounds, which is good. It allows Conor to train boxing. Because his last fight with Eddie Alvarez was what? 155. All right? It's 155. So therefore, him stepping up and fighting Floyd Mayweather at 154, which is considered super welterweight. So losing a pound, so to speak, cool. Cool. But he was stopped in round 10, like we all know. Look at the date. 2017, August 2017. He takes some more time off because now he made millions of dollars. He's out fucking off in the street. This motherfucker is drinking green shakes with motherfucking $100 bills in that motherfucker. It takes him from August 2017, over a year, without defending none of his belts, to return back to mixed martial arts and face Khabib. Let me go back and staple a point. His belt, Eddie Alvarez, won in 2016. He never defended it. Never defended it. He comes back after a year of facing Floyd Mayweather, and Khabib subs him in round 4. And all this other bullshit up here with Cowboy Cerrone is bullshit. That 40-second shit, they was trying to make it seem like it's a Jose Aldo refresher. Like he's revisiting the Conor of old. He still has it. He picked up, whatever. I don't know. He just got subbed out by Khabib. And the last time I checked, Khabib was the one who dropped Conor McGregor. So this Cowboy Cerrone shit, head kick punches, get out of here. Now he has the Dustin Poirier fight. I've given you the breakdown. You can pick who you want to pick. But yeah, this is where we at right now. That's where we at, people. Jay Blues in the building. Salute to you. Then see you over here, my brother. What's good? What's good? What is good? Hold up for a second. I'm getting emails. Hold up. Let me see what they're talking about. I got some emails from some people from earlier today. Okay, so those of you that see me across the way or whatever doing the boxing conversation, it is what it is. I'm not here to talk about any of that. You know what I'm saying? What happened, but let it be known that everybody in the sound mind, I'm not going over here dogging people out. Neither am I a bitch ass nigga. I'm none of that shit they talking. That shit doesn't do anything for somebody like me. I went in somebody else's neighborhood and played around for a little bit with some boxing talk, which they had every opportunity to have the momentum and bring in who they want. I did not retreat or go anywhere. Nowhere. It don't matter how many people tuning into my channel. I respect the ones who's tuning in. So stop paying so much attention to who's tuning into my channel. And it's amazing how people will sit up here and say they don't know your channel. I'm not talking about the individual on the panel. I'm talking about people in general, right? That they don't even see me on hardly anybody's panels without, more so Mark Nash. I would jump on his channel. Shout out to Mark Nash Breaking Beats. But you never see me on anybody else's channel consistently. But when I decide to jump on for a topic, then it's clout chasing, the cliche term. I'm trying to get views. If I was trying to get views, I would sit up here and tell the cats like Michael Lewis. I would ask them, Michael Lewis, Mitch, Jay, and all the other cats, Jay Blues. I would sit up here and say donations 100 times over. I don't even mention that shit. I've been on here damn near 2 hours. I have not mentioned that shit once. It's boxing with me. It's combat sports. So if you saw me over there and then I came over here and did an entire live and did not mention anything about what I did this morning, I was on there for over an hour, I would think. I was over there for over an hour, and I absolutely came in here and talked about something absolutely different. So if you're sitting up here believing anything that's coming on these emails, motherfuckers talking shit, you don't believe that. Because I went over there what some would consider behind enemy lines, speaking with those individuals about a topic I didn't agree with, and they want to drop links all over the place. I still respect them for who they are. Now, if they want to talk shit, go ahead. If they want to talk shit about me just for showing up and not agreeing, okay, cool. But make no mistake about it. All the threats and all this other stuff that goes on with other people, that means absolutely nothing to Scotty. World Combat Sports in general. Nothing. Because it takes more to get through to me than to call somebody a bitch ass nigga because you are unable to believe that you've broken someone down. Just because you overtalk people on someone else's panel doesn't provide you with a so-called body. Because you're talking to a person who sit and listen to other people's channel for boxing knowledge. But just because I don't jump on the link all the time, what does that make me? I'm just there listening. I cover two primary combat sports, boxing and MMA. So if you're believing that I know nothing about either, then I'm laughing. I say, okay, cool. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Jay Blues in the building. What's good, man? McGregor getting whooped. Oh shit. Jay Blues think McGregor is getting whooped. Poirier has become a competent counterpuncher and now has a great understanding of range. Besides Khabib, this will be Conor's toughest fight. It's a bit that I like I say, if I agree with you wholeheartedly, I will. But partially, I disagree with him getting whooped. Conor McGregor just has this mystique about him. You know what I'm saying? Like Conor McGregor, I don't know about him getting whooped. Like Khabib, I could say it was places in that he was dominated. You know what I'm saying? He got his ass whooped. It was pockets of the Nate Diaz that he got his ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? And this fight with Dustin, it's tough, bro. It's tough. I agree with you on Khabib. Besides Khabib, Conor's toughest fight is Dustin tonight. I agree with you on that. But I'm not sure if he's going to get his ass whooped, though. Because like you said, Conor McGregor knows his distance and his range, man. He knows how to distance gauge. And one thing about that, if you allow him to have his way and not be first like Dominique Reyes was to John Jones, you're going to have a problem. Dominique Reyes in that fight knew if he allowed John Jones to dictate the pace, he was going to have problems. So what did he do? He was first for 3 fucking rounds. He set the motherfucking pace, foot to the pedal, and he was getting it in. Now, did he gas out a little bit in the 4th? Yes. Because at the end of the 3rd, John shot in for a takedown. You know, at the end of the motherfucking round, nothing happened. But when the 4th and 5th, John was a whole different fighter. So when it comes to Dustin Poirier, he has to push the pace early with Conor McGregor. He can't sit up there and allow Conor McGregor to hold that right hand linear out there and straight and then shoot that left. He cannot do that. He might get knocked out. And you know what? I know Dustin Poirier does not want to get knocked out by Conor McGregor a second time when there's years separating them, right? In their career. It's years since that loss. He does not want to come back in here and get knocked out in 2021 by Conor McGregor, who he faced in 2014, people. Yes, sir. He ain't trying to go through that, J Blues. Why did Conor look like an old man at the press conference? Seemed like he rapidly aged since last I saw him. AJ, I'm gonna tell you point blank, as if we was out having drinks, dog. You know damn well being in the music business, you done seen some motherfuckers show up to your set, right? That's in there all the time drinking. And them motherfuckers, they are not that old, but when they turn around and say, oh shit, the music's playing, them motherfuckers could age right in front of you. Conor McGregor may have went through a drastic change somehow. Allegedly, I got to put that in there. Supposedly he was on some shit and, he was drinking the shit out that whiskey. So a wino, I ain't never met a wino that looked healthy. Because he told Dana, I've been without me whiskey. I had just a little smidgen at New Year's. I had just a little drop. We know that's not true. So since he's sponsored with Proper 12 and he has an infinity of selection to whenever he chooses to have Proper 12 on deck, he can get it. He might be drinking. He might have been drinking before this, dog. That whiskey and whatever else he was doing might have been fucking up his body. I know he doesn't look as big as he usually do at 155, but he's still in shape. So it might have been some other shit going on with recreational drinking, man, allegedly. Or recreational drug use, allegedly. We never know. But you thought he looked like an old man? I'm not really looking at that. I understand he cut off his hair and everything, but that's what it is, man. We'll see how he looking here against Dustin Poirier. A part of me, if I had to make a prediction, right? Like I said earlier, a part of me is wanting to go with Dustin Poirier. Because Dustin Poirier showed me something there with the Justin Gaethje fight that he can box. But then I look at the cage IQ of Conor, how he allows himself to keep proper distance with his right hand and his pressure he's able to put on his opponent. The one thing I've seen with Conor over the past several months is that he will get in close. He don't have a problem with getting in close. I'm pretty sure Khabib taught him a lot that day. And from my understanding, he's a brown belt. He's a brown belt in BJJ now. I think Dustin Poirier is a black belt, if I'm not mistaken. I think boxing-wise, Dustin Poirier has an advantage. I do. But it's hard for me to pick against Conor McGregor because I've seen Dustin Poirier go out. Dustin Poirier has had some ups and downs where he's been, stopped and shit like that. Conor McGregor bragging rights is he's subbed. Do I believe that Dustin Poirier will get to a submission point on Conor? I don't see it. Y'all. So my pick, I have to go with Conor as far as the cage IQ and just the all-out dog and tenaciousness that he brings to a fight like this. He's been to the big stage already like that. He's been champ. Dustin Poirier, when he had the opportunity to step up there against Max Holloway for the interim, Max Holloway was a champion at featherweight at 145. So he was a smaller fighter. So I have to exclude that. But him stepping in there to face Khabib, he was finishing shorter distance than Conor. So of course, my comparison would be Conor McGregor is the better fighter out of these two. That's in my OP. You know what I'm saying? I believe Conor McGregor gets it done. He said MF looked like Walter White. Damn. I don't know what's going on, man. He does look different. It's weird. Like, he does look different. Like I said, looked like he lost a little muscle mass from his earlier days. But he even looks different from the time he stepped in there with Floyd Mayweather. Whiskey might do something different for drying up somebody. We don't know if the whiskey is being mixed with something else that's recreational, but he does look different. You know what I'm saying? He looks like an Irish old man, you know what I'm saying, to a point. I don't know. It might be the beard. He's coming with a new persona now. His PR team told him, hey, you know what? Shave your head. You can have your kids now. Give a different perspective to the fans. You know what I'm saying? Just give them a overall different look on the way you used to be. So I got Conor McGregor, man. Do I think potentially he can stop Dustin Poirier? I do believe he can stop Dustin Poirier. I believe it. So I think if I'm going for Conor, and as far as the victory goes on how the fight may play out, I would say potentially via knockout. Conor McGregor potentially via knockout of Dustin Poirier. That's just my prediction. It doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it is right. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna leave off as right there for real. But y'all keep on supporting the channel, and I appreciate the ones who are, grown adults, man, think for themselves, move off their own decision, and everything else, man, and understand and respect the hard work that goes in to talking about boxing and MMA. You know what I'm saying? So from what I'm getting, what I'm receiving, is no way that I'm going to respect someone saying that you don't know shit about something. That's just doesn't make any sense. That's not true. And I'm not going to talk too much on it. But people have their fanfare. People have their collective group of individuals that tune in. Cool. I get it. But make no mistake about it. You absolutely know what it is. HLD, what's good? Take my hat off to you, sir. Today's debate brought truth to light. Hey, appreciate you, HLD. I mean, I seen you over there. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I appreciate some people getting some positive shit out of it. It's good that some people put some, brought some positive stuff, because this is something that just don't sit right. I would never, it's just not up to me to sit up here and bring other people on deck without allowing your guests to know that you're bringing on somebody else. But me being me, it didn't matter. I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't going. I even when I dropped off, I was there for so long, going back and forth with people who wouldn't allow you to speak most of the time. I still maintain my bearing and everything, and still talk and debate. But yet when I left, it's still a problem. They want to make it seem like I left because I brought up a situation that's wordplay. Anybody who have heard me speak and stuff like that, I have every right to speak how I see fit. And if those of you that was on the live, what did I say? The main people that have a problem with $5 words is black people. They're the main ones. So if I've been out there for that period of time and I chose to leave so I can do my live, why say that I took the time to leave right when racism came into it? I never brought in no racism. I made one point to somebody who came on there, and I said, Devin Haney said he'll never lose to a white boy, but he should be concerned about losing to Teofimo Lopez. That's just wordplay. Devin Haney said he wouldn't lose to a white boy, but he should be concerned about losing to Teofimo Lopez. That's just wordplay. But how are you going to bring in racism to another brother, though? That's what happened when you get colluded individuals together on another platform, which I didn't even run. I didn't have a mute button. I was muted several times, and I stayed where I was. I didn't run from the smoke. But I appreciate your HLD for pulling up. You know what it is. If Conor cardio is good today, he wins. I agree, man. My condolences. The false narrative's got to stop blinding the fans. The race thing has got to stop. It does, man, because how can you say that you don't want to hear anything? I mean, I took the time to leave after bringing on someone else. I mean, Bill came by, BFTB came by. I'm already there to talk strictly to Drew Titan, and then he brought 78 Sports. All them that was on there are support of Pro Team Haney, right? So I said, cool. But then when you're on there, it's all about attempting to overtalk and basically demasculize or so-called bully someone by everybody joining in. But it only works on certain people, because when you sit up here and take it off boxing and not listening, won't answer questions, calling people bitch ass, that does nothing for me. I've heard it all before. I'm from the South. I'm from the city. So most of the time I'm speaking, I'm being respectful. I'm not, calling motherfuckers niggas and shit, bitch ass niggas. But when somebody wants to ignore that just to prove that the point they're trying to make is right, that does nothing for me. Even if I'm bringing up the military, that person say, I don't give a fuck about the military. But see, the reason why I was bringing it up is that I was trying to make a point that Team Haney has no authority. Like an E1 in the military. E1 in the military can follow orders, but they cannot implement orders. And they're trying to make it seem like I'm anti-Haney. I'm not. I'm not anti anything. It's okay for all these blogs to sit up here and tear down other fighters. It could be two black fighters. You pick the black fighter that you want, and then you destroy the other black fighter. But yet you're going to say, I'm leaving a debate, which I've been there for over an hour behind enemy lines. And I'm telling you, per the military, I've been in real combat. And you saying, fuck what I've been to. But yet I'm just hearing this dude tell people the same exact thing that he's seen his friends blow up. And I cannot register for him for sanity. He just said the same thing because people are over talking me and trying to make it seem like that is going to make them seem like I don't know anything about boxing. All because I'm Team Teofimo Lopez. They're trying to imply that I was getting paid, which is an absolute lie. How can y'all sit up here and act like black media have to absolutely stand hand in hand with every black fighter? When I'm freaking supporting Deontay Wilder, it's slack for Deontay Wilder. I'm a fanboy, dick rider. Then it comes to me supporting Teofimo Lopez. They happen to be in a division where they would like to see Devin Haney in that position of Teofimo Lopez. But that's not the case. So now you want to win me over by calling me a bitch and all this other shit, just to try to prove to the people that's in the chat saying whatever they want to say. You want to prove to people that I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to point blank period. you all are in a hard place and you need to come up with a plan B if you want to be in the damn place of Teofimo Lopez. And mark my word, if Teofimo Lopez does not give Team Haney a shot, what's next? You're going to continue to go to these segues and talk shit that he's ducking. Mauricio Suleiman is the ultimate mastermind of the franchise belt. He created it. And like I mentioned several times before, Tay Jones had mentioned, how can Canelo request a franchise belt when it wasn't even in existence? So when I made that point, nothing became of it. Because you're up here acting like Teofimo Lopez need to go against the grain and say, let me give Devin Haney a shot. You want to talk about how he called Deontay Wilder a bitch. You want to talk about all the trash talking, all the capping. And I say, I went out there and told the truth. I'm telling the truth. I say, well, the 10 million that they put out there, it wasn't. He was just talking shit. They just wanted to match it. They just wanted Team Haney to match it. They wanted freaking Eddie Hearns to match it. I'm pretty sure in Australia they wasn't getting 10 million. And then it was public record at 2.5. And then you want to talk about the mandatory. You're actually talking about a mandatory of Lomachenko fighting for a vacant WBC title against Luke Campbell. So how long are we looking per the calendar? Because no one wants to look at this, but a guy like me does. How long per the calendar did Lomachenko, if he decided to face a projected, this is where the extreme biasness come in. And I'm only talking about this because when I left, I was timed out of the chat. They was talking shit about me and all this. I came over here and did the whole entire live, and I didn't bring this shit up until somebody else, want to drop shit in my inbox. But how is it that you're not looking at a timeline? If Vasyl Lomachenko won the WBC vacant, I asked, how long does he have before he faced Devin Haney? So therefore, Devin Haney, coming off his last fight, Vasyl Lomachenko, coming off his fight with Luke Campbell, how long did he have? Where's the paperwork to say that he's supposed to have 3 months to fight him, 4 months to fight him, 5 months to fight him, 6 months? Where's this ever in writing that Devin Haney was the mandatory? And then what makes it even worse, you have people up here denying, they're deluded in believing that he did not receive a championship via email. And you're identifying me as a bitch ass nigga because I'm trying to make a point that you don't agree with. I'm not the one that tell people I'm making opinions which are facts. A person like me will break that shit down just like I broke down undisputed. I think that pretty much pissed Bill off to come up there when he had the opportunity, because this is what I said. You had every opportunity to jump on my platform. The reason I said my platform is because I don't have to go through this on somebody else's platform. But if you want someone to show their true colors, just go over there and see what happened with this earlier live. I never would have brought multiple individuals that support us, a single organization on this YTBC, for them to gang up and collude against trying to make a point against a channel in which the people and everybody else was saying, oh man, he don't have that many views, he don't have this. And I'm saying to myself, that makes no difference to me. Check out my body of work and what I do for the sport of boxing and MMA. I'm not on here all the time requesting super chats. If a motherfucker is fucking with you, he's fucking with you in order to give you respect too. Because you can't sit up here and say someone's scared to show up on your panel when you're over talking me, and then you want to be disrespectful, and then you want to act like you good, but we ain't good. You know what I'm saying? We good, but we ain't good. How can you bring another mouthpiece into the equation and not handle the one-on-one? If I came over there to speak to Drew, then I should have maintained a dialogue with Drew. Then he gets and start dropping links to Bill Haney like I'm running somewhere. I didn't run when it happened when I was on H's channel, and I didn't run today. And then he drops another, and then Bill brings in BFTB because Bill want other cats like he's been doing to kiss his feet to his every word. And a cat like me that's not ignorant and dumb and illiterate, he wants somebody to come over here and be ignorant with me so he don't have to do that work, because he's listened to my lives enough to know that I've been critical of Devin Haney's move. So he brings over somebody else to give energy. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't go anywhere when BFTB showed up. I didn't go anywhere with 78. And once I left the panel, I said respect to all y'all. Even though y'all was talking about me when I left. So I have every right to end my life and tell the people who support me what really went down. Just hit the replay if they don't chop it and shit. I didn't go nowhere. I didn't run nowhere. I never damn surrendered from nothing. I had a whole panel, entire panel of people that was pro Devin Haney fans. Talking, trying to go around in circles, acting like I cannot sit up here and separate this narrative from that narrative. I'm up there listening to the panel, and also I'm typing in the chat. I'm a multitasker. That goes along with reading and listening at the same time. So to say I know nothing about boxing, you don't believe that shit. You don't believe that shit. You didn't believe that. I just looked up. I was on a whole nother shit checking out some stuff. BFTB Boxing, I don't support a single organization. Bro, I got nothing but respect, bro. But you acting like I don't know shit about boxing, man. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for people to go over there and mute people. And for me to be muted and for my name to be talked away and then timed out, that was just extremely petty, man. That's extremely petty to go over there and mute. BFT, if this is indeed you was over talking me since you dropped in, but you was never muted. So that lets me know the fact that I was going mano a mano, talking back and forth with you in an abrasive dialogue, a boxing debate. I was the one that was muted. That is bias. Because I didn't never have a chance to answer your question. I never had an opportunity to answer your question. Bill didn't bring me on nothing. I never said Bill brought anything. I'm not sure what you're talking about, bro. But like I said, I even gave BFTV. It's hard to explain to another man you respect what they do. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's cut from a different cloth. But I even said he have a different type of energy in the graveyard. That's what I always say. He'd be over there roasting people, but don't think me being over there for the first time that I ran from anything. Neither as if I didn't know what I was talking about. I'm listening to multiple individuals ask me questions from all directions. The TV is coming in with his talking, and then I have Drew trying to talk, and then I had Bill at one point trying to say this, that, and the other. I have multiple voices converging on one cat that came over there directly to speak and have a dialogue with Drew, period. Drew bailed out. Drew bailed out the conversation and brought Bill on here. I would have respected it more meeting a brother for the first time that he just kept me and him on a one-on-one dialogue, not muted his mic, dropped the link to Bill, and said if people want to pull up, they can pull up. So if that's the way you're treating your guest, then don't talk shit about me for hanging out when you invite your entire group of individuals that you support, because you don't support World Combat Sports, because I've never seen you over here, period. So everyone who support you or the organization, kudos. I had no problem with the LDBC or none of them cats. Never. I'm who I am. But when you all know that I'm over there on a platform, I've never been over there before. And Bill comes in, I didn't go anywhere. I don't know why people continue to do that. I don't know why. When I pulled up and said, Drew, drop a link. I'll chat it up about this Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney. Hit the replay and see how long I was on the panel. So if Bill wanted to say, oh, this is the opportune time for me to pull up on him on a panel that supports pro Haney, then of course I'm going to get muted. Of course I'm going to get muted. Of course it's going to be biasness. Because Bill Haney told Drew, once again, dictating grown men, he said mute his mic. So it's okay for Bill to talk. It's okay for BFTB to talk. But yet 78 come in there and say, I'm defensive. I truly understand BFTB's energy. And yes, I do drop by and support his channel. And also, you know, I've supported you. You've seen me in the chat. But make no mistake about it, man. Like, I think bitch ass nigga is a and a duh for some people. Not me. I got timed out. That just did it for me. When I dropped down in the chat and I say I'm done, because I was once again, I was multitasking. I was setting up this live stream and I was in the chat. I had motherfuckers calling me coon and all this other shit. But Drew times me out, or someone in his chat times me out. That's incredible. That is so petty. After me spending that much time on your panel with your people, time I leave the panel, y'all say, oh, when racism came up, it was never about racism. It's the fact that I wordplay something that Devin Haney said earlier that they made him an apologize. And then you want to question me and say, well, do you have a problem with what he said? I said, no, if he said that's what he feels, that's what he feels. You try to bait me into your ideology. You're not speaking to a dumb nigga, and you're not speaking to a bitch ass nigga yesterday, today, or tomorrow. So when I'm using wordplay, a person that has articles out there, all I said was, if Devin Haney say he'll never lose to a white boy, then he have to worry about losing to Teofimo Lopez. How is that dealing with race? Public record, Devin Haney said it on 78. How am I doing anything wrong? I'm taking public information and I'm reverberating it in a dialogue. But in this point, Drew attempts to dictate how I'm speaking. When he wants to interrogate people and feel it's okay for him to attempt to dictate because he had former law enforcement. Well, I'm telling you, I did 20 years. Whether it matters to anybody outside of me, I don't care. I just know, bearing wise and discipline on the way I carry myself in life, I've been to combat too. I've been there on the sand too. And when you say fuck the veterans, fuck military, we ain't on that military shit, I'm like, okay, cool. I was just trying to create a narrative and give you a hypothetical on Team Haney not being able to make decisions, people. Sometimes, like I said before, you have to abort the mission. Even though you feel like you're going in a different direction that others might say, well, you're retreating. You're not retreating if you truly understand and respect the next plan that you have in place will get you more than you ever could have got in the first plan that you had. I know niggas want you to play stupid and dumb and ignorant. I can't do it. Because what I'm saying is in good nature. If you're unable to get anything out of the WBC, how long are you going to wait? Don't be mad at Scotty. Don't sit up here and think calling me a bitch ass nigga in front of other grown men does anything to me. What you can't fade is the fact that I have my depth of knowledge in boxing and combat sports in general. And it's no ill will or malice. But I will never have a grown man try to dictate. And I'm the same age as you are, Bill. You cannot sit up here and make me feel some type of way by calling me a bitch ass nigga just because I'm not on Team Haney's wagon and the first time you ever stopped on here. And let me re-explain this to the ones that was in the live chat over there. When I say that Bill jumped on my platform and disrespected me by not even saying a greeting, then how am I being disrespectful? Because that's what he demands when he goes to other platforms. If Bill jump on another platform, he wants to be acknowledged, right? So when I said you came on my platform and didn't even acknowledge the host, the motherfucking host of the damn platform, you didn't want my respect. You came in there to go at another nigga that I don't even know too much about myself. I never knew y'all had beef, but you used my platform not as a conducive progression to talk about the topic. You wanted to come at another nigga and talk about how his teeth looked and how he looked and all that. I thought that was disrespectful. I'm not saying all this shit is going to be serendipity. But when you got a motherfucker that got a college degree, a military, motherfucking brief individuals at the Pentagon, had a top secret clearance, why am I to come out here to the civilian public and act like I'm a clown, I'm stupid, I'm illiterate, I don't have any type of knowledge? I didn't run anywhere over there. Come on, bro. You didn't give a boxing debate. I gave you a chance to answer. You moved the goalpost. No, I never really had a chance to basically calmly address you, BFTB, because you was over talking me. Everybody can look at the replay. I gave you your respect. I still give you your respect because you do break shit down your way. A lot of shit I know about what I talk about, I don't have to use the content or the material every time I'm talking about it. But I respect you for being and able to provide the receipts. I can provide the same receipts as according to what I'm talking about. But that's no way, no how, shape, or form blending in on how you go about your channel. But anybody who look at that replay, you was over talking me the whole time. That's all I'm saying. HLD said they blocked me on timeout everyone several times on chat, controlling the narrative. Hey, that's what, look, I commend the individuals, you know, that has all the people that's in the chat. But the ones that's in my chat, the few, the proud, I appreciate the boxing dialogue. I don't have to have many people in there agreeing with everything I say. It's some people here that agree and the ones that don't agree. That's the conduciveness that I love about the people that jump in my chat. They're gonna have their opinion. I agree with it or disagree with it, but ultimately, it's gonna be some respect there. Everybody's shit different. You know what I'm saying? I hear you, BFTV. I hear you. Wordplay, you know, little wordplay on one particular narrative. I have no problem inviting you on the live, but it comes to a point right here. I think we still have a certain percentage of respect for one another. But then it comes down to individuals don't really know who you are to continue to talk, because I don't want to talk about somebody putting me on mute. But yet you coming over here and I put you on live and then you just totally attempt to take over my live. Now that won't happen. Just like you won't allow it to happen on your live. I've seen it several times over. You're not going to do it. That's where the situation changes. Like some people can have a dialogue where it's back and forth and respectful dialogue to the boxing audience and amongst the ones that's on the panel. But to be honest with you, I don't feel the need to go tit for tat and over talk what I did today. I just did it today just because I can. Like I was being over talked. No one was really mediating unless 15 minutes came by. Every time Bill finished talking, Drew didn't allow me to respond. And when I asked him to respond, he refused to let me to respond. So I have a valid point. I have a valid point in what I'm talking about. I'm not creating this shit. I'm not calling any one of y'all over there bitch ass niggas, but I was called bitch ass nigga and all that other shit. To me, that's disrespect. Black and Brown said that chat was saying some foul shit. Absolutely. And I invited them, those individuals, I invited them to have a boxing dialogue. I didn't invite them to come over to this chat and think the same shit's gonna go on. But these are so-called my people. If you want to hype on me bringing up Devin Haney, he'll never lose to a white boy. Don't ever forget that I'm black. Don't ever attempt to think 1 minute. What is the 78, BFTB, Drew, Bill? Don't ever think for a second that I don't have the right to voice my opinion and speak how I speak when it comes down to something that is harmless. Harmless. I said, he said he'll never lose to a white boy. He should be concerned about losing to Teofimo Lopez. And when I chose to get off the panel and they're going to make it about race from a black man in general, black media, that kind of threw me off. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? You're going to try to convince a bunch of loudmouth live chat individuals that's them keyboard warriors, right? And not all of them. I take that back because some of them I saw in there legit. But some of them I saw legit was talking shit. So you're going to tell me that I decided to get off the panel because I made a statement about Devin Haney saying he won't lose to a white boy, which WBC made him apologize. Not Scotty. The WBC made him apologize. And you ask, how am I to use wordplay? I have every right. I've did it. I've always, what is wordplay? It's freedom of speech. Wordplay is just like me telling you how to speak. Don't overtalk me. And you can say this, that, and the other, but you continue to do it. So how can you sit up here and dictate my tempo and my temperature on using wordplay on a simple question to someone? No one was answering my shit, but I have multiple angles of voices coming at me from all directions. I did not once retreat at all. But what no one's going to take from that live is that I'm a bitch ass nigga. You're not going to take that shit. And plus, this racism shit, the guilty speaks the loudest. How am I speaking about racism? If you haven't collectively looked at my body of work and who I support in boxing, how can you say racism? 78? How can 78 say racism? Oh, he decided to run. He decided to run when when we mentioned racism. What? No, I did a live. I had to prepare for a live because I've been over there for a long period of time already. I had to prepare for this UFC live that's coming up, in which I went the entire live without mentioning any of this live that I just got off of. So you have to respect it whether you like it or not. I did not mention anybody. But several people have been hitting me up saying that even after I left, y'all was dogging me. BFTV said, now I said what I said. If you don't want the debate, it's not that I don't want to debate. I don't believe it's going to be anything conducive to me to match like we did over Drew. I did that because I can if I choose to, but that's not the way I come on my lives and do that. Like, I don't sit up here and try to see, can I overtalk someone like yourself over and over again? You have a unique energy, bro. That's your energy. But who am I? I'm not a follower. I'm not out here to match BFTB's energy every time. And then just because I don't match your energy, it's disrespect. It's not. I respect you for what you got going on in your platform and how you treat your guests. That's you. You cut from that. That's how you get down. I get down with my energy, and I'm not worried about sitting up here trying to prove to people that I can match you word for word, temp for temp, screaming for screaming, and minute for minute. I don't have to do that shit. And then people who's on fuck with me for the longest, I can have a damn dialogue that's intensive. And I only have to damn say nigga once. But when my people, my black people, sit up here and try to push a narrative and then destroy and break down a motherfucker that's supposed to be your people, that's going to bring another cat into the equation. I mention this all the time about fighting your own battles. Why bring BFTB in because of his temperature and his energy to basically talk to me, to get at me when I'm speaking to Drew and I'm speaking to Bill? So I already have two people that's pro Haney. Then BFTB come on deck, and me and him go back and forth forever and a day. And then 78 come in. So who's supposed to win this? Who? I'm not complaining. I'm cut from that cloth. I'm not complaining. I'm just telling what happened. Everybody can hit the replay and tell me if I'm wrong. I went in somebody else's platform for the first time, and I went over there and I didn't leave until I wanted to leave. And it was damn near at the end. And know that I didn't leave because I mentioned Devin Haney saying something about he'll never lose to a white boy. And my attachment to that was he should worry about losing to Teofimo Lopez. And yes, I bet everybody on the panel that Teofimo Lopez defeat Devin Haney. I didn't put a wish in there. I said, I will bet everyone on this panel, including Bill, that Devin Haney can't beat Teofimo Lopez. And that bet stands. Drew really is a fan of Teofimo. If you was a pro Teofimo Lopez fan, all of a sudden what changes? Just because he won't give Devin Haney a shot immediately, why should he have to accommodate you all? And he just fought. Teofimo Lopez just fought. He just picked up the straps. And they out here saying that why he can't get Devin Haney a shot? Why he can't get Devin Haney a shot? Well, he need to fight Devin Haney. Listen. Let me pull this up right quick. Cause see, I don't have a mute button, you know.
When is your son finally going to fight some top competition? Or do you plan to...
Let me go back. He said, when is your son? This is a caller coming into the Boxing Voice. This is not Scotty. This is other people believing. So why isn't Bill having the same energy with this caller right here?
When is your son finally going to fight some top competition? Or do you plan to... Holy shit. Or do you plan to keep protecting his own like you've been doing? Thank you, Jeff.
When we got Santiago, he was ranked in the organization. Now, you talk about a world of fighters, and then you talk about being ranked, right? You know, coming up the ladder, up the top 25, right? The bottom 25 didn't want to fight Devin, and the top 25 didn't want to fight Devin. So, it, you know, for us, you know, it's all just one and the same, you know.
So did you get anything from that BFTV? Did you get anything why Bill Haney would call me a bitch ass nigga, but yet he didn't call that caller a bitch ass nigga? Do you not understand that I never said Bill was protecting Devin Haney's O? I never really put it out there or something else, but did you understand anything of what he's saying, bottom 25, top 25, if we're really going to go there? Did you understand that? Because it's not for me to understand. I listen, and I listen. What about this right here? What about this right here?
Sparring or whether it be in a fight, then you done witness greatness, because that's what Devin is, and we're willing to fight anybody.
He's willing to fight anybody.
And sparring or whether it be in a fight, then you done witness greatness, because that's what Devin is, and we're willing to fight anybody.
When is your son finally going to fight some top competition? Or do you plan Or do you plan to keep protecting his O like you've been doing? Thank you, Jeff.
When we got Santiago, he was ranked in the organization. You talk about a world of fighters, and then you talk about being ranked, right? Coming up the ladder, up the top 25, right?
I mean, I don't have to let that play out. I'm just telling you, like, why am I getting all this energy? Why do people understand that I'm black, but yet I leave alive because people want to make it about race? 78, it was your freaking interview. I took a snippet because that's what I do, and that's what I can do. If you join the panel, you didn't join the panel for my best interest, even though I respect, I respect the energy that you had or whatever. But I did not leave the panel just because you assumed that racism was the topic. I just put it out there like, what are we talking about? Teofimo Lopez just won the belts. Why are y'all sitting up here acting like it's a freaking expedited rush in the mail for Teofimo to sit down and face Devin Haney? And also, I wanted to make this it's a cool point, right? Shouts to all boxing channel. Everybody won't always agree. Absolutely. Tony Boswell, what's good? What's good? The ugly truth, got to consider the source. May loudmouth with zero life confirmation, integrity of the substance in life, acting like peacocks on YouTube. Don't watch any of their platforms. Was there for years, supported all platforms that stop when I ask question about someone. Hey, look, I don't even, to be honest, I do stop through BFTV shit. I do. I will go by a certain period of time and then I'll leave. I know he mentioned on the live that I'd be over there, and he was trying to infer that he talked about Teofimo Lopez, and no, he was talking about Devin Haney and the mandatory with Lomachenko, right? I didn't stay over there for the whole time. I don't stay over there. I have multiple things I'm doing. Just like I was talking to the people in the chat while I was listening to the panel this morning. I was doing two things at once. They was up there being very derogatory in the chat, being petty. And I said, okay, they support Drew. They should support Drew, but they don't have to come at me and say all these things about, you had one individual they're talking about, he has the same amount of subscribers as me, but I got more views. So this is what I got to say to that viewer that dropped that shit, right? Have you ever been on my channel? If you haven't, then why are you concerned about how many views? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're basically putting it out there that you just found out how many subscribers I have and you have more views on your channel, then why are you concerned? Like I said, I respect the ones that show up all the time. Tony Boswell been dropping through for a good minute. Truth start dropping through. These cats donated periodically to the channel. I don't ask them, Mitch, Michael, Jay, and I do see, I did see some individuals that show up to my live chat, and they was over there saying some foul shit about me, just because they wanted to be a part of everyone else that was pressing enter and saying some derogatory comments in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not a follower like that. If someone is in the chat saying some foul ass shit against BFTV, I'm like, that's their opinion, but looking at the energy, he will handle that shit like he always do. That's my take on it. He would handle it. He would drop the link and he would have them come on. That's not the way I operate, though, because everybody have a problem with me. I'm not going to drop the link and say, okay, get on here, and I'm going to go back and forth with you over and over again about shit, and we're going to overtalk each other. That's his energy, and I respect the graveyard shit, him be, slicing motherfuckers off at the neck. But let's be clear that World Combat Sports did not even move. Drew had every opportunity. I done seen him interrogate people, ask damn Sugar Hill shit, be on other people's damn shit, but yet he cannot answer my questions. If he would have very well just stayed mano a mano with me and him about Teofimo Lopez and Devin, it would have been all cool. But he went up here and insidiously, because he has a problem with me using $4 and $5 words, he insidiously drop the link to certain other people to come on instead of having a one-on-one with me and him, because he know he wasn't talking to a casual. But when I leave the panel, why talk shit about me, bro? I respect y'all grown ass men, but don't think I'm a pussy. Don't think I'm a bitch. Don't even give anybody indication that it's okay for you to put off that. Because not once was I up there calling any one of them a bitch ass nigga. But what I was doing is talking that boxing, though. They tried to say I was getting paid by Team TO. They was up here trying to insert incorrect, and deficient words into my narrative, which is false advertisement. False advertisement when it comes down to it. You cannot sit up there and do that with me. I listen. I'm not here to always be 100% right. But damn, if I'm there on a panel and I'm the only one, I don't have any freaking support system, I'm saying, okay, let's go. Don't act like that I've been jumping in and out the panel. Oh, he left. He's scared. He got bodied. He left. I stayed there the entire freaking time. And I could care less if one of those individuals that was in the live chat come over here and subscribe to my channel that was talking shit. I do not care. I don't sit up here where no one can fuck with me on boxing and MMA talk. I don't say that shit. I just go up here and talk my talk. But don't get it twisted. Those of you that want to check out, man, go support Drew Titan's damn platform. Go support it. If you choose to listen to that, support it. It's no beef over here. This is innocuous with me. I know what my capabilities are, but to talk shit about me, to make it seem like when we got on some racist shit, nobody wasn't talking about race 78. That shit I brought up with Devin Haney was shit that came out his mouth. So why would you insinuate another black man who mentioned a statement made on your podcast of Devin Haney saying that he won't ever lose to a white boy? He said the shit. Once you put it out there, it's public record. So why in the hell are you trying to blow this up like, okay, this brother been on here, I came in late, and he's trying to lead the panel when racism came up? No, you had to deal with that. The first thing out 78 mouth with BFTV already on the panel, he said, this brother defensive. How can you even say out of your mouth with me and Bill, BFTV and Drew on the same panel already, and you're telling the people that I'm defensive when BFTV is going 100? Come on, man. That's petty, dog. I don't respect that shit, dog. I don't respect that. A real one will recognize the real one. You know what I'm saying? You know what it is. I did not run one time while links kept on being falling out down Drew Titan's pockets, muting his mic. Hey, yo. Another person drop in. Another person drop in. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna ever lie. For anyone that's on the panel, let's say Bill TV jump on the panel, right? I'm not Bill. Just say Bill drop on. I'm not gonna go up here and hit my man up and drop him a link without telling Bill he inbound. Because then, listen, if he chose to abort mission and run and get off the panel because I'm bringing my boy over here so we can get some shit straight, that's on him. But if I allow him to pop up without him knowing, I'm feeling some type of way about myself. I was like, damn, I didn't even give this man any damn preempted warning that I was bringing somebody else on the panel that's against what he's saying. Now it's all about that setup type shit. Like Drew, you're not in my best interest the way you was running your panel today. It don't matter who you with. You can go on other people's panels and act like you're interrogating somebody. But when you get a person like me to listen to words, you can't answer my questions because you're used to just asking them. No, you have to be able to answer along with asking. It's not a Q and Q, a Q, 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 Q. It's a Q and A. So BFTV says that Devin Haney will watch T.O. And I say that Teofimo will defeat Devin. Which one sounds more abrasive, washing or defeating, if we want to be petty? So me, I keep the same energy. Wherever the fight is made, I have at least minimal of 3 bets that's pending. 3 that I know I'm going to collect on handsomely. Handsomely. That's Drew Titan, BFTB, and Bill Haney if he chooses to. But don't make it about brothers if Devin Haney only has 1 on his record. Don't make it about brothers when Michael Williams Jr., Team Williams call you out and you duck them. Don't make it about brothers eating with brothers. Don't make it about that shit when you get on somebody else's platform that's extremely biased against WCS and you sit up there and get an impression that it's respect. You ain't gonna convince me to call another man a bitch ass nigga is respectful and is wholesome and is kind words, my brother. But you did duck Michael Williams Jr. because hey, look, you had every opportunity after fighting Zahu Abdulayev and Alfredo Santiago to include Michael Williams Jr. into the equation other than Yorkis Gamboa. The reason why I'm saying that is that the people would have respected you more not fighting Gamboa coming off the canvas. When I brought that up to the attention, that shit was smoothed over. Why did you fight Gamboa? Why did you fight an old 39-year-old Gamboa who's coming off an Achilles injury and a knockout? And the question was just set aside and jettisoned. That shit was ignored, diluted, everything that you want to talk about. Why did you fight Yorkis Gamboa? It was nothing positive coming out of that fight with Gervonta Davis. Nothing. You can't come up here and make up narratives and make it about Teofimo Lopez, all because it's talking about, you know, the movement. Hey, listen, everybody, it's a movement out here. It's the Devin Haney movement, right? The movement is, let me get enough of these YTBC channels out here to get on the Devin Haney movement. A brother like me, I'm looking at certain individuals that's saying that I'm biased and I'm a hater and I'm a coon, right? But yet I see these same individuals taking two black fighters and calling them slave names and calling them bitch ass niggas when they got families and breaking them down derogatorily, dropping obscenities, just absolutely degrading, attempting to demasculize black men just because you have two fighters and you got to choose one. So you choose Errol Spencer, you dog out Terrence Crawford. You pick Terrence Crawford, you dog out Errol Spence. Me, I pick the one that I'm favoring, and I don't sit up here and just say, well, I'm going to dog out and criticize that individual. I'm just going to dog him out. I'm going to make it personal. But that's what's going on with Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney, though. Team Haney would have got more respect if you followed Michael Williams Jr. Because you don't have a leg to stand on when you're trying to convince me that Abdulayev and freaking Santiago was any better competition than Michael Williams Jr. at 14-0, undefeated. You didn't want to because y'all have a history in sparring that you told a half truth about. You told a boxing voice that you stopped them in sparring. It's on record. I could pull that receipt. If you want to call somebody a bitch ass nigga, right? But when in reality, the person that stopped the sparring was you. Devin Haney punched my man when he was on one knee, which was dirty tactics. And you stopped the sparring. So for you to disrespect the man and act like he ain't shit in boxing, like he can't box, like Devin Haney actually stopped him with a body shot. It's a difference. Many people been dropped in sparring. But if the man is on one knee and Devin comes over there and punches them in the head, what does that say about his leadership? You can't get up here at the boxing voice with a platform like that and cap. You cannot cap like that, Bill. You cannot cap like that to the people. You can't pull up on me on somebody else's channel and expect me to go anywhere. You acting like you doing me a favor by pulling up on my platform. I'm trying to explain to you out of respect for their platform and everybody else's that me and you don't need to do this unless it's on my platform, because we have this going on that you, Devin Haney and Team Haney, out of respect for that platform. But once again, I know it was only a matter of time because I sit up here and broke down Undisputed. I know that shit had you fired up, talking about damn prefixes and verbs. I know my people. It's been too many times where they hear the voice of a man that may seem slightly educated, but they themselves consider them to be educated also. So instead of us just being educated together, they want to act like it's supposed to be a hierarchy. That hierarchy consists of someone kowtowing, forehead to the ground and bowing down and kissing the feet of that individual that actually believes that they're more intelligent or intellectually savvy than the one that they was initially listening to. We're incapable of giving each other credit. We just can't say, hey, brother, you smart. I appreciate you. I learned some shit from you. That shit was educational. I got you. But when you got a group of black men that's arguing amongst each other, over talking one another, and then I have to basically join in so I won't hear the cliche term bodied. Because me, I look at the embryonic vernaculars of digestive, the ones who sit up here digesting as if they never left the elementary period of learning. This is the people that was in the chat. They use cliche terms, bodied. When you hear individuals, they're supposed to be adult appropriate, right? So you treat them like that. But yet they be saying some elementary type shit. How are we supposed to progress? If black people are going to communicate amongst one another for knowledge, we need to seriously stop trying to act like it's supposed to be a hierarchy. And that hierarchy means cutting down the next brother that you're talking with in order for you to stand taller, in order for your voice to be heard louder. We need to stop that shit, because I'm not going to be that guy. Bill had every opportunity to come on my platform one-on-one, because ain't nobody else coming on my platform if I would have had Bill on here to talk about the problem that he had. But see, I have to think of it like this. If Bill's saying I'm a bitch ass nigga, I'm looking at the shit that happened today, and I'm saying that was some bitch assness right there. Because I never would have did some shit like that. Unless even if the link was in the chat and I saw the damn avatar, I would have been like, hey, you know, I see you in the building, but this is just with me and my guest. But then Bill comes on and he injects someone that he feels that would take over and make me look a certain way. You see what I'm talking about? You had the opportunity for a one-on-one and to converse as brothers do, my good brother. But yet you took another good brother that has a different type of energy, and you call yourself summoning him to speak with me. Now, I'm not trying to sound like Louis Farrakhan. I'm just saying that's exactly what Bill did. I'm like, okay, Bill is the one to handle his shit. If he feels some type of way, he can talk to me about nothing. So he waits till I get on a pro Devin Haney platform and pulls up. Not only did he pull up, but he want to come over here and assert himself as if he's never talking to me before. He knows he's not talking to a dummy. So therefore, he gets BFTV on the summons and brings someone over here to give me a different type of energy. Why? We're the same age, dog. We're the same fucking age, man. So we're gonna have, oh man, when I hear the people say coon, right? It's amazing that you can support several dozen black fighters, but it's never enough for you get ignorant ass, impotent type of individuals deficient in everything they were supposed to learn when it comes to basic education. Absolutely deficient to sit up here and call me a coon, right? Without even checking my catalog on who I've supported, the money that I put into the travel, everything to support black fighters, Hispanic fighters, white fighters, it don't matter. Support, two different genres of combat pugilism, but they would get on here, and just because we're talking about a black man who's competing, Devin Haney, they're going to call me a coon for making a point in a debate. I'm not even going to time you out. Whatever your name is, I see the capital B, but I don't know what anything else is. Because I already explained all that other stuff you're talking about. Jay Blue say, "What up, MMA champ?" So therefore, it makes all the sense in the world. You know what I'm saying? And you hear other people coming in here using content from other people's channel. What content you hear me using on my channel is from me and me alone. You know what I'm saying? But if that's indeed MMA champ, it's expected because this is an individual that's a fan of World Combat Sports. It's good to see you back over here. You know what I'm saying? It's good to see you back over here. But I've always dropped the link for MMA champ. I've always dropped the link for you. You know what I'm saying? And you never showed up either. And the ugly truth just told you once again, undisputed would infer a positive for Teofimo Lopez. Educated individuals, man. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to pretend like I don't know when something's stupid or not? Am I supposed to pretend that I don't know good and bad? Am I supposed to pretend like I cannot and I'm incapable of separating behavior? I mean, come on, man. The actions are what they are. Motherfuckers want you to get on here and talk slang all day long. They want to talk about what you experience in the street, what you've been through in life. They want everybody to know about the struggle. But if you give any indication that you've been striving to be a bit more educated than the average, attentive to certain things, do your research on this boxing and mixed martial arts, this media shit, then they want to tear you down and act like, nah, you're not supporting everybody we support. It's time for us to get on the motherfucking torchlit parade of Devin Haney to destroy and break down Teofimo Lopez. When I asked you clearly, when did Teofimo Lopez win those straps? He just won them. Why in 2021, we just picked up a new president? Why are you in a hurry for him to co-sign? Listen, people, listen to me. Why are they in a hurry for him to co-sign a confirmation with Devin Haney when Ryan Garcia refused to acknowledge him at all? Why are y'all not up here calling Ryan Garcia a bitch ass nigga? Why am I not hearing you all call Ryan Garcia for what he did, him not acknowledging you all? Bill Haney been on here several times, going from Javier Fortuna to Vasil Lomachenko to Teofimo Lopez to Ryan Garcia back to Javier Fortuna. Man, this is off the rip on what my recall memory is. How am I a bitch ass nigga when I've witnessed you on several platforms say what you said? Javier Fortuna, Vasil Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez. Ryan Garcia comes into the picture. Now they're going Ryan Garcia. And next, Javier Fortuna. You was just calling out Ryan Garcia. So why is there a torchlit parade for Teofimo Lopez? Why? Because that's the money fight, right? Why? Because he has all the crowns, right? Exactly. So don't act like it's mandatory for Teofimo Lopez to give you all expedited attention. He doesn't have to. If you wanted expedited attention there, Team Haney, you should have indeed been in the position. Don't blame. Look, when I was talking to most of them people over there on that panel, they wasn't even trying to talk about Mauricio Sulaiman fucking up everything and being the mastermind. They wasn't even trying. But all of a sudden, when I say, why isn't Team Haney in the position as Teofimo Lopez? And it said, well, he's not in the position of Teofimo Lopez because of Mauricio Sulaiman and everything. I was like, but when I mention it, and I was telling you about the franchise belt, I didn't get any type of clarity. But yet, when I say, why is Team Haney in the parking garage? I cannot get a response except Mauricio Sulaiman is messing up everything. But y'all know what it is, man. I think I talked about this for this point of time. You know, longer than I have to. You know what I'm saying? You know, but hey, I don't know if it's up. When I trust it on my channel. But y'all be sure to turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports, man. It's been a pleasure. The ones that fuck with WCS, hey, salute to you. You know what I'm saying? Keep on pulling up and dropping through. It don't matter if it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Continue to support the channel. You know what it is, man. Until next time.